group stage, which was a little bit of greed here and there.
Falcons are down in 9th place. A lot of this middle pack of the table in the middle single digits, right? And that's what you expect from rondos, but even more so when you have so many teams hot dropping in Neox. It's a little bit disappointing for Weibo, for Boars, not able to extract value from one of the 2 rondos, one of the 2 potential massive earning games for them. Let's see what the rest of the teams can do. 9ZG, not least of which, because they only have, well, they have 0 points, blank, not a zip on their points tally right now. And up into 8th place, only the 1 placement point guaranteed. They do need to start to get stuck in here.
Oh, so the ghouls looking down towards them. There's smokes all around them, which does set up a bit of a mirage here for Burmese ghouls to try and look through, but some of these shots are hitting. Yaka also too far away for these nades right now. That one gets a little bit closer, but a good shot from Godspeed. Starts things off stronger towards Melosa, who was the player trying to get closer to get those nades on board, but can't quite handle it, and the Burmese ghouls continue to truck on.
Against 9ZG, seems like they have things in hand, and 9ZG really struggling to move past the deployable cover. Not enough for them to stay safe from the ghouls. As Reyes spotted, there is an answering nade, and Ichi may be flushable there. He's quite far forwards on the position. Godspeed needs to move in to protect that. The nade bouncing between them, and Tadka goes down as well. Remix able to connect that shot, but again, they're able to reconsolidate. The nade to bounce around the edge, that could be dangerous, but not quite connecting. One from the back line from Collego. That might be a little bit closer. Ooh, nearly gets Ichi down, but not going to be quite the cigar as the ghouls continue to strike back, leaving just one 9ZG player left standing. Godspeed, though, will get taken down, and 9ZG are giving it a bloody good go.
Come on, Ichi. This is your moment to shine. Looking to take those shots down towards them. They're going for the full reset, but a nade over the top. There's a lot of nades in the hands of 9ZG. This one goes pretty far over the top. It's a nice air burst, but not close enough to the target.
Nade over the top again against Unknown. Collego surely doesn't survive this. Surely, with the Molotov at his heels, needs to try and come up big, but will fall down in the face of the ghouls, who are up to 11 eliminations now, blank. They're over Papara Supermassive, who had Sakura Mountain under lock and key, but now they've had to descend. They are not so happy in the fight. They've lost Nico. They're down to 2 Kamikaze and lost both. Looking to try and keep things together. Alliance have loops rolling up on them on this southeast side. In the meantime, the ghouls are looking to push on over from that western edge. A little repair work needed. Alliance fall. Loops crash successfully. 8 elims there, and we're on for some big games now.
Oh my days. Absolutely we are. I mean, 12 elims of Papara Supermassive, which has come out of nowhere. Burmese ghouls with the 11. Loops in 8. Influence Rage with 6, but only 2 players still left remaining. What a wild finish this is to Rondo. So many teams trying to push those point tables higher and higher.
I mean, that's how you have to do it. Kamikaze with 6 elims. That's where we've seen a lot of farming take place from up on high. The res actually coming through is pretty big here for Papara Supermassive. They do need to push across, and having all 4 of your players there, 3 players rather for Papara Supermassive, is a massive benefit. For Alter Ego, they're on 4 elims right now, blank, but they have got the only center circle position.
Alter Ego is just having a great time of it at the moment. Direct center. Rosemary looking to try and scout out what's happening around them. Good shot from Snape over towards Ichi. I think Burmese ghouls are kind of lacking on supplies now after that long engagement with 9ZG.
Not too much time to get the loot on board either, it seems, because get ready for the push. Need to get that healing done. Maybe a little bit of infantry management. Godspeed answers towards Rosemary. Kamikaze being torn apart, and Law able to shred through them. Papara Supermassive will fall. They're on 15 points though, blank, so a good start for them. Capitalizing on that super duper high ground. Sakura Mountain is theirs for the taking. Luke's now trying to rock up on Influence Rage as well. Law will fall, and that will be the end of Influence Rage. So Loops, with Nilzada knocked in the corner, look at it go toe-to-toe with the Burmese ghouls, potentially, around the edge of this one, because Alter Ego still sit in the middle of everything. waiting for teams to step towards them.
It's just so funny to me right now. This is basically like the guy sweating versus the guy singing and dancing off the distance for Alter Ego. They've not really had to do too much. They have just been at a recall, trying to call home. All of their change spent on Rosemary getting to Thailand. It's been good. It's been good from them.
Playing as 3, maybe there's an opening to be made here, but the fact that both Loops and Burmese Ghouls have to make the rotate at the same time, pretty much the same time, could make things harder. But if Loops flex out, the Burmese Ghouls don't have the angles, don't have the challenge over towards them. I mean, that's going to make Alter Ego's life a lot harder, but again, you need to push towards them. It's slap bang on top of them.
Come on, Ghouls. Now's your time to shine. I have worries, though. I have concerns. Versus Loops. I think they're spotted now, too. Smokes do go down, but it is a nade trap down there. Let's tag on towards Yakka. Godspeed gets out towards the tree, which is great news, though. That little off angle is so important for them. These nades are terrible. That one's okay. The quick switch on the vehicle? Okay.
Happy feet from Unknown. He knows where the nades are, though. Underneath the car, unable to dodge through them. Still a little bit of damage from the Molotov, but they are in the zone blank. With all 3 of their players, they are just going through those passenger seats, diving in, finding their gap. Loops can't tag on. With 4 players alive, they need to start to transition. They need to start to find something. Burmese Ghouls have got no utility to speak of, and Loops have run their nade closet dry.
Yeah, well, Alter Ego's only got 3 as well. I mean, Burmese Ghouls have nothing, but they've got their guns, and they've got hands. That's all you really need in PUBG Mobile at the end of the day. Krypton starts to move out. Has to look for something, but it's a high ground push towards them. Thing is that Loops will be silhouetted first, but it is this 3v4, which is sort of the difficulty for Loops.
I mean, all those nades
worried for Alter Ego here.
All those nades that Loops put towards Burmese Ghouls, I suppose it's kind of given them a load of divots to play with as well, which might help them against Alter Ego and make things harder. Loops want some of their own. Nilzada's digging in around the tree trunk.
Really are in the mines right now, all over the place. Second time. I think that's the second time this tournament we've seen the pickaxe, and it's in one game. Oh, teams using every advantage at their disposal. Yeah, this is reasonable. I don't think any team wants to be the first to face here. It's frustrating, I imagine, for the Loops that they don't get any of those nades off over towards Burmese Ghouls, but that's a good setup on the smokes to deny angles.
Unknown looks for the challenge on Ratto Boy. Steps out. Oh, what's a shot coming on through from Unknown. He saw that peak. Ratto Boy stood bold as brass through the smoke corridor. And he has been clipped, but should be resable. In the pre-made divot, with that pickaxe coming on through, it's always annoying that you can't see the smoke canisters in the smoke launcher on these utility bars at the top blank. We would have known that Loops had a little bit more to play with. Alter Ego, though, flexing out. I mean, I like this, right? They have had the control for a while now, and they do need to pick up a lot of points from this fight. They want to continue to capitalize.
Good shots again from Unknown off a distance. The Undead looking very much alive here in this endgame. As the Burmese Ghouls continue to pop off, dropping Loops down to just 2. 14 elims. It really is now time to arise for the Ghouls.
And they're on 3. 3v2v3. Godspeed again, not taking a huge amount of damage from the nades, and the nades are all out from Alter Ego. Loops lose Ratto Boy. Krypton able to find the flush. Just Rafinha left standing. As soon as you get rid of Rafinha, all of a sudden the Burmese Ghouls have a little bit more of a clear run here. They have a full frontal fight, and Krypton's low already. Maybe this is their time to strike. Maybe this is their time to arise. Godspeed on the high ground, position known, and no nades to speak of. It's getting to be mano a mano, hand-to-hand combat. Godspeed steps up. He's taken down by Krypton.
Yeah, no chance there for him. Snape's off angle here is so important. I think the Burmese goal is likely to go down in second. But this was desperately needed from Alter Ego. I think they held out for quite a while here. They weren't quite as proactive as we liked, but it still earns them big points. But I think it is the Burmese goals to take top pole position there with the amount of points they're able to score. Very chilled out game, though, for Alter Ego. And that's what you want to see. Honestly, a very chilled out game is nice on Rondo and still getting some points off the back of it. You don't want to be the guys who are all inside of Neox Factory bare knuckle boxing.
Oh dear, no, that was pretty nasty stuff. I mean, it was, who was it who was stuck in that hot drop and got towards the end there? I felt like nobody Loops actually were on that hot drop and did manage to get into that third place. So apart from that, seemingly mostly our team's going down in the middle of the pack, but that point denial at the end as well, Blank, coming through from the Burmese Ghouls, could come in clutch. On these short match sets, obviously those single point differences really do matter. And we'll have to wait and see if that will come into play later on, because there are only 2 spots left to claim in the grand finals. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be able to take them. But for now, Alter Ego, points. A couple more points for the Burmese Ghouls. Let's arise to the desk.
Forget everything you knew about tactical PUBG Mobile, because what we just witnessed in Game 1 of Rondo was pure, unfiltered, violent euphoria. Maxman, Alter Ego, get the win in this one, but I think we were the winners, just being able to witness it.
I want to replay this in the cinema in 4K 120 FPS because absolute cinema. I know I've been saying that the entire tournament, but the entirety of this PMGC has been unreal so far, and Alter Ego able to take themselves a solid win here. And sure, maybe not as aggressive as some people would like them to be, but I think they were just passive enough to make sure that win was not going to escape their grasp.
Yeah, they played this really, really well. Yeah, okay, it's more passive. We might have wanted to see them come in with the vehicles and just sweep the edge and get rid of all the rest of them very, very quickly. But I think they played it really well, especially considering they had the only building in the zone. And if you actually look at their vantage point, it's uphill, right? So they couldn't really see over the crest of that hill, and they couldn't know who was there and who was going to be waiting for them if they did get in those vehicles. So I think they played this really, really well and how they should have played it. And you know what? They got the win, so obviously something worked, right?
Definitely something did go in their favor, but I think some people were hoping for them to third party Loops and the side of Burmese Ghouls, which I was also hoping for the same thing. But Loops, clearly, by how they were playing positionally speaking, they did not want to fight because they were scared of that potential Alter Ego third party. So Alter Ego were just not given that opening, and because they weren't given that opening, guess what? You just hold down the fort and you make it work out. But talking about a fight in a big fort, in the Neox fort here, Hot Jukes. How many teams were in here? Like, in this hot drop? What?
It was 5. It was crazy. I mean, the 3-1 split strat is the meta, 100%. I mean, it's so wild to see 5 teams drop in this area with 3 while sending one off to get res Neptura. And I mean, it worked out perfectly because so many teams were able to get a ton of eliminations to start this one off.
Weren't they just? I mean, we saw teams coming out of here with 6, 7 eliminations just off the bat of this hot drop coming through here, and then they get that full reset, and it's just game as usual. It's a fantastic strat that I love that we're seeing come into Rondo. It was those rotations afterwards, though. You're seeing a lot of them here. This field in particular was really rough on a lot of teams. I think we saw like 3, 4 different teams fall very early, so it's the field of death, Maxman.
It really was. I mean, it was so cool also in Neox to see Flash coming in as a third party. They're like, the fight's over. Let's pick up the stragglers. The chances are there's not a full squad still alive. So I do really respect it. But though, I really like what John and Blank were talking about during this game. The pickaxe coming out and is now meta on Rondo? Question mark. Creating those dips without having to waste some C4s or grenades is actually very impactful. You're just getting a free little hold in these flat terrain finishes, and we saw it used especially in the finishing moments by Loops, if I'm not mistaken. So pickaxe meta is real. Better than the shotgun. Maybe not. Okay, calm down.
Yeah, pickaxe strong, shotgun always stronger, right? It's so wild to see here though towards the end. I like the fact that we saw the Burmese ghouls just kind of wait out Loops there towards the end because they had no choice. Blue was going to push them out. They did. But look at these points, Neptura. The Burmese ghouls! 20 on the board for match number 1.
Heck yeah, they are rising up those leaderboards. They are here to stay. We saw them be so quiet in Group Red, right? And then they started to be a little bit more active, a little bit louder. And now, in Last Chance, they're coming in with a bang. They are shouting from the top of the leaderboard. 20 points overall. I mean, yeah, Alter Ego with 18, Loops with 16, Papara with 15 as well, right? It is close, but 20 points is a great start to their Last Chance.
I mean, especially happy with Papara Supermassive Blaze. They had themselves kamikaze on that stone pillar for a majority of the early game, and the circle shifts down south towards the stone pillar, and the entire team just rotates, claims that position all around it, and even negate the rotation right, Niptura, of Weibo Gaming, that, as we can see on these rankings, only get themselves 1 point. So actually, I really like the use of these stone pillars, really becoming such a strong position if it does end up to be in a mid to late game circle.
Yeah, we've seen it before with Sakura and E-Arena, right? They had such a vantage point with those high ground areas, with those rocks, that they were able to control a lot of the lobby. And I think Papara were trying to do the same thing. The zone did move away from them, but then they actually used that to actually use their rocks as a information point. And so once the zone moved away, they were able to actually just go ahead and go around the south side and clear all those teams that they knew all the things about. So it still really helped, even though the zone moved away. You see MVP there was Krypton, and we move over to the top 4 players. And yeah, okay, it's got to be Kamikaze, right? He was the guy up on the mountain doing all the things. So not only information scouting, but some damage scouting as well.
Yeah, just so you guys know, the MVP has to be on the winning team for each match, so that's why it was Krypton, but I was like, it's definitely not, stats-wise, it definitely wouldn't be Krypton normally. Unknown. By the way, Unknown this game, he had some shots where he was getting literally pre-fired by Loops, and he peaks, and he still gets the elimination. What a reaction time from Unknown, really standing out as one of the top-tier players from Myanmar in the Burmese Gold squad, and Rafina, and of course Kamikaze, as you said. All the information in the world here, able to pop off on that stone pillar position.
Yep.
Neptura. You know what, Max?
Definitely. Yes.
You guys want to hear a crazy stat?
Ooh,
I just did the math. There was 122 eliminations in the last game.
हेलो 1 मिनट में बस 1 मिनट मुझे दे दें
ठीक है 122 eliminations, because I was sitting quiet doing the math because I looked at the match rankings and saw 5th place with more than 10 points. I was like, how many eliminations were there out there? 122. That just shows how imperative Rondo is. Yeah. I'm really wondering what's going to happen tomorrow. You know what? We'll speculate that later, right? But we're getting into Erangel, Max, man. What are your big expectations going into Erangel?
Ooh, Erangel? I mean, Inner Circle, right? I always love to see how Inner Circle play on the grassy pastures. I think they play extremely, extremely well. I wonder if they're going to have a little bit of a fight with Wolves on Western Bridge. Didn't happen before. I don't think it's going to happen here. So, but that's my expectation here is Inner Circle, Pakistan, on point. Let's go.
Hey, are we going to see that comeback from Weibo here, Neptura? Yes or no?
They've got to do it now. I sure hope they do. I mean, they're very quiet Rondo, so I think this next game they've got to make up for it. I feel like there's too much at stake here to really be lackadaisical here.
Yep, don't wait, pull the trigger, make it happen. It's Erangel. Will it be as aggressive as the last one? I don't think so, John and Blake.
हेलो किसका मैच चल रहा है दीदी
सबका आईसी ने तो हक दिया पिछले मैच में आईसी ने हक दिया पिछले मैच में 6ठी पोजीशन पे आए इसमें 6ठी या 7ठी ऐसे कर और आज आखिरी चांस है इनका।
हाँ जी आज आखिरी है, अगर आज ये जीतते हैं तो फिर
आज
ही
दो
आएंगे।
टीमें पिक करेंगे, पहली दूसरी नंबर पे जाएंगे।
अभी यानी हम लोग कौन से नंबर पे चल रहे हैं?
पहले मैच में तो छठे नंबर पे आया, शायद छठा या सातवां ऐसा नंबर था।
Just doesn't guarantee you points. It really doesn't. A lot of it is luck of the draw, where you're able to end up and how quickly you're able to get there, as well as just having drop spot advantage. But we'll see where the circle does go on this. Obviously, for Arangol, you want to get as many points as possible. These
6
are
मैचों में क्या होगा।
much higher
देखते
averages
हैं
over
क्या करते
Arangol
हैं।
as opposed to Rondo or Miramar. Cuts in a little bit of Sosnovka here, which isn't great, but we are heading down towards
1 किल निकाले थे इन्होंने पिछले मैच में।
Supermassive at least.
सही लड़कियों लड़कियों की क्यों आ रही है?
क्या आ रही है?
ब्लर
अपनी वो चेंज करनी है, अपनी क्वालिटी चेंज करनी है। ये टिप
यार मेरी क्वालिटी 180p60 हुई है।
कितनी हुई हुई है?
180p60 1080 और p60
ऑटो पर है ये दूसरा वाला?
दूसरे वाला मैंने खुद चेक किया।
ये तो मेरे पास तो सही चल रही है, फिर नेट का इशू होगा, मेरे पास सही चल रही है।
तो मेरे पास मसला होगा।
नेट का मसला होगा।
Yeah, a really huge game, and we do have an interview
हो
with
सकता है।
Ichi coming up very shortly. In fact, right now, because he's been performing extremely good inside this lobby.
छठे नंबर पे आई है इस
छठे नंबर पर है इसी इसी सबसे ऊपर जा रही है वो जहाँ की तुम 20 पॉइंट।
Go from last chance, get to the finals, and become the champions. Now, H, I do want to pick your brain a little bit because in that round of match, I think we had almost 8 teams fighting in New York's factory. Your
पहले
team
मैच ही हुआ थी।
decided not to do
ये
what
दूसरा
you
स्टार्ट हुआ।
You decided to land on a 2-2 split in Hongshan. What was the reasoning behind that strategy?
Sabai hotdrum ma masin bene nayaw nayaw Hongshan ma sin wa re pon ma strategy pon ma ဘယ်လိုမျိုးဘာတွေပြောချင်သေးလဲ
ကျွန်တော်ရဲ့ target ကတော့အဲ့လို early game fight ဖို့မဟုတ်ကျွန်တော် late game မှာ၄ယောက်စပိုင်နဲ့ကျွန်တော် KD ကိုရသလောက်ယူမယ်ရတဲ့အမှတ်ကိုရသလိုယူမယ်ကျွန်တော် plan တော့အဲ့ဒါပါပဲ
Our plan is not to take a hot drop but to survive to survive all 4 players until the late game to get as many points as possible.
Well, it definitely worked out with the amount of eliminations you were able to put up. Now, with this amazing match that you have, what kind of momentum can you carry on?
बीस कहाँ गायब है आज?
How is the team feeling?
अलग से काफी था इस मैच है।
ကျွန်တော်ဒီ rank ကိုတော့အရင်က
हाँ तो वो सुबह 6 बजे उठ के जा रहा था नमाज पढ़ाने।
ဒီ momentum ကိုပဲထိန်းပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော် key point တွေယူမယ်အမှတ်တွေယူမယ်ဒါပါပဲ
We will keep this momentum and we will get as many points as possible in Erangel.
Well, there you have it, Ichi from BG.
मैंने
Wanted to
आपको
be the
मैसेज किया।
champion slayers and
मैसेज किया मैंने, सिंगल टेक आ रहा है, नेट बंद है शायद उसका।
Absolutely brilliant stuff. Keep that momentum going.
वैसे तो
It's
होगा।
always tough though, especially with such a packed lobby, such a stacked roster of teams on the menu. But if they can do it again, if they can keep things under control like they did in that last one, brilliant stuff. They were able to move around nades like
ये जो नाम इन्होंने रखा है आईसी, इसका मतलब क्या है आईसी का?
towards the Burmese ghouls.
पता नहीं क्या भाई।
Good no. I mean, Burmese goals 20 points right now. I think that aiming for a late game finish,
मैंने
I
तो
think works
इस मैच में
quite
पलक
well
का
in
चलना
favor of
शुरू
the
किया।
Burmese ghouls. I think that they're most comfortable.
पलक खड़ा
इंडिया
हो
नहीं है
गया
आज के
मैच
उसमें,
में।
Personally,
हैं?
Rosemary
इंडिया नहीं है आज के
इंडिया
मैच।
नहीं है।
not great.
इंडिया दूसरे स्टेज में था ना, दूसरे उसमें था।
That's actually very
यार
rough.
इंडिया को
WBC
आना
इसमें
चाहिए,
भी है।
Second place with 18 points.
इंडिया को आना चाहिए था इसको।
Continue pushing further up the tables. That felt like not even a scout down towards that position. Especially on this circle as well, you'd imagine there would be a team playing.
और भी पीछे चल रहा, और भी पीछे चल रहा, फैल्कन भी पीछे है,
Who would probably want
भी
to take one of
पीछे
those
है।
buildings just in case, for basically contingency sake. So for
INF
Rosemary just to
13
rush that
पॉइंट।
compound, that feels
15,
wrong
loops
in my
के
head.
16, AE के 19,
Yeah, it's
30.
it is
अब इनको
definitely
टॉप
not
2 में आना
ideal
पड़ेगा.
losing your player early on that east side. Oof. Yeah, nasty stuff. You know where the balls are. Bad news bears all around. Rosemary not going to be happy with that one. Gen G
जीजी ने अच्छा खेला था पिछला मैच.
close to the walls. Actually, the Falcons are getting stuck in, trying to skewer that rotation from the sidelines. Alliance as well, just a little bit ahead of this. Gen G may be happy to play up towards the bridge. The area around this east bridge flank is getting really full of teams, and they're all trying to roll on around and claim some of this land. Ralph goes down, knocked by a player from Wolves. Looks like Gen G may be pulling up short as well. Players are starting to fall. Actually, it's Falcons who lose Ralph fully. And in 3 teams rotating almost entirely exactly on top of each other. We'll see what more they can do. Narvalo goes 1-for-1 with Claws. And I imagine they're both going to try and bunker down together. I think Falcons may be closer for the res, but the question is accessibility here.
Oh, वो जनता भी गया और उसका भी गया.
It's a little bit easier to sort this fight out. And I think for the Falcons,
चलेगा. नाम क्या है इस टीम का? LCN क्या है ये?
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a wash right now for the Falcons. This game is going to have to be a case of just set it, forget it, put it behind you.
Falcon था वो.
Too many more points, just trying to live out.
2 बंदे मर गए ना इनके.
Redox is going to try to do going
2
forward.
बचे सिर्फ.
Probably sending towards the center of the zone at the moment, or trying to.
Falcon वाले को 2 बंदे गए.
I mean, even the center of the zone here, not super favorable. It's sort of in Milta around that roadblock right now, and the Burmese Ghouls pretty much have control of it.
अब कैसी है क्वालिटी?
Controlling that northwest side.
ब्लर्सी आ रही है मेरे पास अभी भी. हाँ, अब हुई है ना heavy.
And Quick was on the hunt. Even swaps to the passenger seat to get the spray
अब
down.
ये मजेदार क्वालिटी हुई है.
Blank. It's not looking like we're going to see them over in the finals.
ओह, Falcon को पड़ी है.
हाँ, तो वो रेटिंग पे चला गया था.
It's hard as well. It's hard for me to say because I do really like the Falcons.
ओह, heavy यार, Falcon वाला मार गया. Falcon मर गया, जन वाला मार गया, जन को.
Falcon का तो एक ही बचा है. इनको चाहिए मेल्टा पावर जाए. आईसी वालों को चाहिए मेल्टा पावर जाए और टावर पे चढ़ जाए. जाम चढ़ते जाके. चलो मेल्टा पावर निकल गया.
आईसी की तरफ घूम रही है. कुछ वाली साइड पर है. कुछ में आता है. वो तो झंडी है.
आईसी के अंदर कौन कौन है?
आईसी में फलक है. वो नोकी है. हाँ, ये नोकी आ गया. और वो आई होगा. और एक और होगा, कौन सा था, गेम से निकल गया.
जंगली शंगली नहीं है इसके अंदर?
नहीं, वो मोबाइल पर खेल लिया ना. आईसी में फलक बहुत प्यारा खेलता है. फलक एक बार उधर खड़ा हो गया ना, फलक का हाथ चलने लग गया. बहुत प्यारा यार उसका वो है.
इनको चाहिए एमुलेटर के भी टूर्नामेंट कराया करें.
हाँ, टूर्नामेंट होना चाहिए.
आईसी के पीछे बंदे पड़ गए.
आईसी के पीछे बंदे लगते हैं. आईसी साथ के कुछ नंबर पर आ गई है. गोल पर आई है. आज के बंदे लगे हैं. नहीं यार, ये गंदे बंदे हैं. मोहन का मोहन. चल भाई, कवर ले.
You got to make sure that your players feel confident, and to be fair, often that decision may not come from the organizational standpoint, right? It might be the players themselves, and as you said before, it may be that they want more international success, and therefore might leave the roster, try and pursue other avenues. Of course, this is pure speculation, and I don't want to give anyone the idea that I've got inside knowledge. But that definitely is a factor in decision making, right? If you're a player that thinks you're better than this roster right now, I'm being held back. You
potentially. Again, then we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
गीक वालों का भी गया एक बंदा
Really terribly and able to claw it back, but that's usually clawing it back towards third place. And third
नहीं
place
बीच
right
वालों
now
का तो नहीं गया, यही वालों का गया.
do the trick.
गीक वालों का एक बंदा नॉक हो गया.
Alter Ego, Burmese Ghouls, two teams that are up towards the top. Burmese Ghouls not the team I expected to be in first place after the first game of the day, but we're pleased to
मैं
see that.
पीछे चल रहा हूँ नेट की वजह से.
Improved a lot as the games have gone on. Alter Ego though, I think that they're a little bit all over the place. I think they have massive potential.
मैं तो डायरेक्ट देख रहा हूँ ना, इसलिए मेरा आगे चल रहा है.
But there are games where
हाँ आपका आगे चल रहा होगा, आप डायरेक्ट देख रहे हैं.
make silly mistakes. Put it that way.
और नाइस यार कौन ICP बना, लेकिन उनके पास बंदे बहुत जाते हैं और कौन के पीछे पीछे घूम रही है, साथ हो गई है, ये घूम रही है यार.
इन्होंने कैम कर लिया शेल्टर के अंदर. शेल्टर में बढ़ गया IC वाला.
IC के पास और ये सीधा दूसरा स्टेट
फैल्कन वाले आ गए अंदर. फैल्कन वाले आ गए शेल्टर में.
हाँ दूसरी साइड से फैल्कन वाला जा रहा है, एक बंदा
फैल्कन के पीछे भी बंदा आ गया है कोई और.
ओ यार उसने गाड़ी लगा दी दूसरी साइड से.
नहीं 3 दरवाजे और हैं, निकल जाएंगे और.
The difference in my opinion between Weibo and Alter Ego is
वो लोग अभी तक घूमने नहीं गए,
Alter Ego is
उनके बाहर ही घूम रहे हैं.
mistakes, whereas Weibo is just like, oh, we really sucked that fight. But no pun intended. No pun intended. But I think Weibo also has this weird consistency of weird tendency to be like, oh my god, they have just annihilated that team, and that was the most insanely well set up fight I've ever watched. To then go to looking like a 10th place team versus other squads who aren't even that great either. I think that's the one thing that's annoying for me about Weibo.
फैल्कन वालों का एक ही बंदा है, IC के पीछे पीछे घूम रहा है.
Best team in the world, the next they could look like a middle of the pack team.
दो बंदे इसके ऊपर पुश करें, खत्म करें इसको. इनको पता नहीं था यार क्या बकवास है नेट यार.
Supermassive and Nico going to take a lot of fire, but his vehicle eats the majority of it. Lost in the hovercraft will bring up the rear there. Looks like they're going to get away with it scot-free and actually leave Boars around the edge of prison, which is a tough place to be playing right now on this circle. In the meantime, we saw Genji rock up on towards Arc Red. They've taken a knock towards Arc Red. Looks like it may be a Satan jumps on in. Ramses as well getting controlled by Coles. And there is a little bit of back and forth to be fair.
एक टीम एलिमिनेट हो गई शायद.
Is the price they'll pay. Hardboy being burnt out of the shadow. Quick is there with the backup.
मैं तो पीछे हूँ
बच गई.
Once more, Arc Red. They will be burnt out.
आर्क वालों के पकौड़े लग गए.
आर्क वाले को दो गए. जन ने वो किया, जन का एक और गया, जन का गया, जन का और आर्क की एक और बंदा गया.
Arc Red's done and dusted in this game. Cut out on the sidelines in a circle playing some
यार नजला हो गया मुझे.
circle around where shelter is.
आ गया मैं. फैल्कन पे हमला हो गया. फैल्कन पे हमला हो गया.
Mostly they are just playing around the shelter openings.
Good.
Prison becoming a real hot spot. Hello.
फैल्कन तो ऐसे ही था.
Okay. What a delivery.
हाँ फैल्कन को हमला हुआ, लूट ने किया.
जी गाड़ियाँ आ गई सारी. आर खत्म हो गई, वॉल खत्म हो गई.
ऑल आर खत्म हो गया. ऑल के बंदे ने दूसरे बंदे को गिराया. ऑल का कोई बंदा
3 टीमें खत्म हो गई.
फैल्कन ने नेड किया है. वॉल भी खत्म हो गई, लूट भी खत्म हो गई. यार अच्छा चांस है यार, IC के पास अच्छा चांस है.
उनको पता नहीं होगा ना कि फैल्कन का एक बंदा बचा हुआ है. वो तो नॉर्मली खेल रहे हैं गेम अपने. लूट ही खत्म हो गई.
हाँ जी लूप्स भी खत्म हो गई
That's frustrating.
ऑल ने खत्म किया ऑल पर नीचे लड़ा हुई है और हेल्पर ने ऑल के
I
बंदे को
hope
मार
that
दिया
doesn't dissuade them because I think they need more plays like that.
बहुत की लड़ाई हो
More
गई है
aggressive plays to take position in the lobby, and they would have
मीटिंग
done
हो रही है
fine
बड़ी हैवी वाली है
if they
मोटी
just backed off slightly.
बंदे ज्यादा दूर दूर नहीं है
Naye comes out.
कुछ बंदे शेल्टर के अंदर हैं कुछ प्रिजन में हैं ज्यादा दूर दूर नहीं है पास ही है
हाँ जी यार जन के बंदे साथ साथ घूम रहे हैं आईसी अच्छा खेल रही है 8 पॉइंट हो गए हैं 2 किल हो गए हैं सब आईसी
इसी 7वें पर आ गई 6ठे से
सलगन ने मारा किसी को जन के बंदे को मार दिया सलगन ने हाँ जी
बीजी सबसे ऊपर जा रहा है बीजी को मारना है बीजी को गिराओ नीचे टांगे खींचो बीजी की
यार ये थोड़ा होल्ड करके वो भी निकाल लेना क्या नाम है चिकन भी निकालना बड़ा प्यारा काम हो जाएगा मजेदार काम हो जाएगा पॉइंट्स इनके पास अच्छे आ जाएंगे लूप से ऊपर हो जाएंगे ये
Gen G have been circling around. They're up to 5 elims now, Blank. They've been scrapping it out, but Alter Ego are going to chime in. They want the Burmese ghouls in those final circles with them. They want a rematch. See if they can do it. The pause, sending the hovercraft
जन कोई मार रही है यार जन ने 5 किल निकाल लिए हैं ओ मेरे को उसने पत्थर नहीं कर लिया जन ने
actually stay alive as 4 players.
एक भी निकल गई
I don't think they're getting the hovercraft back though. I think that was an invested sunk cost.
वो बोल भी गया एक और बंदा बोल का बीजी के 2 बंदे नॉक हैं
आईसी से निकला पता ना जोन
इसी ठीक है सेफ्टी खेल रही है
बीजी भी पूरी खत्म हो गई बीजी भी फिनिश हो गई सारी
आईसी के 2 बंदे बस अलग के ऊपर जोन है और वो उसके ऊपर है आईसी के ऊपर नहीं है आईसी और कोर्ट पे नहीं है
2 बंदे जोन में है ना उसके तो
हाँ जी
वो तो अंदर ही अंदर आ जाएंगे
अंदर आ जाएंगे बस उनको होल्ड करना चाहिए और होल्ड करके खेलें
लेकिन ये WBG भी अच्छा खेलती है ये बंदे भी किल निकालते हैं WBG वाले
अच्छा खेलती है यार किसी ना करो सामने पे करंदे यार किसी तो नहीं तो जाना भी नहीं जाना तुम चले जाएंगे जनकल एक बंदा फुल फिनिश है 3 बंदे रहते हैं असल भी अच्छा खेलती है
INF भी सही खेलती है
हाँ जी 4 किल निकाल लिए अगले ने असल में 5 निकाले हुए हैं जैन ने 6 निकाले हैं आईसी ने 2 निकाले हैं अभी तक
In general, I do think that denying points in pretty much any lobby, unless you're playing out 6 or 7 days, is a good idea.
Yeah, it's just annoying to me when I see a team that's in like an end game where it's a 2v4 and you deny the points there. Because there is possibility of winning that 2v4, right? And I think even if you just get 2 elims, that's still good. That's where it annoys me. There's those situations where even like there's sometimes you get 3v4s and they deny points then. I'm like, no, just take the fight. You should just take the fight and try and win the game off that.
Oh, Influence Rage, 9ZG. Influence Rage doing pretty well
here.
here. 9ZG trying to crash in on the museum. Law gets spotted, but a big nade comes through from Lil Boy and a follow-up as well, and it takes them all down. Evaporated on the walls. 2 nades is all it takes, and 9ZG will fall. Good news for Influence Rage. They've got 7 elims blank, and they're already guaranteed for that extra placement as well. There's Alter Ego now with Gen G rocking up on them. Need to hold their nerve. Remember, they lost Rosemary earlier, but it's all up to Alva now.
यही ने चिकन निकाला था पिछले मैच में
The last player to stand, the res is on the outside possible. Claws, now he doesn't want to wait for it, because Team Flash bearing down upon them fast as you like. Into the buggy, into the backseat. Wind goes down first. There's a trade.
यही ने
Away, nearly
यही ने निकाला था चिकन
सही यार नहीं गलती नहीं यार नहीं
चल वाले गए
फलक मार गया
एक बचा है फिल का अभी अरे आईसी का भी एक बंदा नॉक हो गया
फलक यार नहीं दूसरा नहीं जाना चाहिए नौकरी में
निकाल गए एक बचा है फिल अरे नहीं यार नहीं
यार नहीं
बचा गया
यार
हेवी बचा गया
यार कौन सा बंदा फिनिश हुआ यार
एक फिनिश हो गया ना अभी दो नॉक पड़े हुए
बचा गया फलक जिंदा बस ठीक है T24 है T24 हाँ ये है आइस खत्म हुआ है यार WBG के 4 हैं INF के भी 4 बंदे हैं इधर से मैच फंसेगा
इनको होल्ड करना चाहिए
अब होल्ड ही होना चाहिए
यही वाला छुप के बैठा हुआ है शेल्टर के अंदर अभी तक ये बाहर ही नहीं निकला
ये वो देखो वो कैंप करके बैठा हुआ बहुत गंदा
इनको पता है कि बंदा अंदर है
हाँ इसी वजह से उसके सामने नहीं जा रहे नहीं
ये मार दिया
जियो फलक से बता
13 नेड लिए मैंने
13 नेड हैं 2 फाइव 3-4 होगा अगर एंटर देखे तो
पीवीसी का नॉक हो गया बंदा रिवाइव हो गया पीजी वाला ये फटेगा नेट से
यार वो कितनी बात है फंस तो गए हैं ये लोग
पीवीजी वाले फंसे हुए हैं लेकिन वो जो है ना आईएनएफ वाले वो थोड़ा सेफर साइड पे
ना हाँ पहले कितने नेट ना जाया कर
आईएनएफ ने रोटेट मारी है पीछे चलो जोन गया डब्ल्यूबीजी के हाथ में
यार इनके ऊपर जोन भी नहीं है यार इनको जोन तो करना पड़ेगा यार
ये फंस गए आईसी वाले फंस गए बीच में एक तरफ आईएनएफ है एक तरफ डब्ल्यूबीजी ये बीच में फंस गए
यार
आईएनएफ ने जगह छोड़ी है वहां से ये अच्छा किया वहां
आईएनएफ की जोन निकली है अब ये यहाँ से जोन पकड़े बस
आ गए जोन में डब्ल्यूबीजी के पीछे आ गए घूम के ये बेहतरीन किया
हाँ ये बेहतरीन किया नाइस फलक अभी भी तेरी ऑन से फाइट ले रहा है ये फलक ने नेड मारा फलक फलक ओ वाह थोड़ा सा मिस हो गया यार फलक सही इनको नेडों में लगा के
बीजी के
रखा
2 बंदे हैं इधर, एक नॉक, तीसरा बंदा
है ना
साइड में
ओके ओके
डब्ल्यू। ये निकल गया डब्ल्यूबीजी वाले वहां से।
यार
आईएनएफ ने
नहीं
हमला
फलक
किया।
यार आईएनएफ ने डब्ल्यूबीटी पे हमला किया
रश कर दिया ना।
तो आईएनएफ का एक बंदा दिया डब्ल्यूबीटी ने पीछे का भी किया लेकिन वो रिवाइव हो रहा है
आईसी
फलक भी
गया गया गया, आईसी गई यार,
जीता
निकल गई आईसी, लॉबी में निकल गई आईसी। ये आईएनएफ ले गई।
यार नहीं यार
चलो कोई नहीं, फिर भी अच्छा खेले यार।
ओ यार ये ले गई कौन ले गई आईएनएफ ले गई
आईएनएफ ले गई।
यार ये लोग 4 चलो कोई नहीं
इन लोगों के ज्यादातर नेट्स आया ही हुए डब्ल्यूबीजी के ऊपर।
हाँ
गुस्से में खड़े हुए हैं जीतने के बाद भी आईएनएफ वाले।
हाँ यार यहाँ पे हम लोग को चिकन चाहिए था यार ये
चलो कोई नहीं, अभी 4 मैच पड़े हुए।
चलो देखते हैं क्या बनता है।
500 निकाले ना इन्होंने, मैं कित निकाले अच्छे खासे हुए।
पॉइंट्स इन्होंने अच्छे निकाल लिए हैं
Influence Rage gets their first chicken dinner here in Last Chance. This one was wild. I gotta give it up though for Inner Circle. They made some very bold pushes. I think we're definitely seeing teams, Max, here adapt to the lobby, understanding that we only got 2 days. So we're seeing a lot more riskier gameplay for sure.
Oh yeah, some teams are going to get very desperate to get every single point they can really gather in these matches, and one of those teams
आईएनएफ के 4 बंदे जिंदा थे इसी वजह से ले गए यार वो
उन्होंने रश कर दिया था ना, उन्होंने देख लिया था कि ये 2 बंदे टीम में फाइटें ले रही हैं, काफी देर से डैमेज होंगी, 10 ही हमला किया उन्होंने।
थर्ड पार्टी करके फायदा उठा लिया
close enough to them to get those
यार
really
आईएनएफ
close
की
range
अच्छे
nades.
खासी
That's
किल
his
ले रही है
specialty, and he just wasn't close enough, Max. He was too far away. He was like, I'm
10
not
किल
sure
निकाले।
what is this.
7 8
This
10
is
किल
not
निकाल
working.
लिए
So I did like that.
आईसी ने मेरे ख्याल में 10 से ज्यादा किल निकाले।
Grooved, got more nades, and tried again later on. So
डीडी बॉय ने
again, it's that
निकाले अच्छे
momentum,
खासे
their mentality of we need to push and push and push and push, which is really nice. But Influence Rage, on the other hand, on the north side, just able to 2-2 split out of Museum, wait for everything to start erupting, and then make the pushes they did was really well played.
Great timing from Influence Rage, really. The way they just rock up onto Weibo while they're split and while Inner Circle are also committing to their fight versus
लेकिन
the two
इन्होंने
players of
चिकन भी तो
Weibo was
निकाली ना इनको
perfectly
चिकन का भी
executed.
फायदा हुआ
I do have to agree though, with Blank there was
लेकिन
definitely
क्या
one
अच्छा
player
पॉइंट
there who
मिलेगा,
shot
अभी
a
देखते हैं
little
क्या
bit
बताते
too
हैं
soon. I believe it was Hero for
क्या
WBG.
पॉइंट्स देते हैं।
I think he waits maybe 5-10 more seconds and really puts Influence Rage in that sense of
लेकिन क्या
false
पॉइंट
safety.
क्या टेबल
They
चल रहा है
maybe
पॉइंट
get 2
टेबल
knocks and then it completely turned the tides of that fight versus Influence Rage. Luckily enough for Influence Rage, that did not end up being the case, and they do wrap up a Brazilian chicken dinner here in Last Chance, which is always a great thing to see happen.
Max, Jukes.
Yes.
हाँ जीतेगा, उम्मीद है दुनिया का ही मैंने इब्राहिम।
7 damage taken.
नहीं तो दुनिया का ही है
Museum does that for you.
अभी भी बता दी ना इसकी ना
Actually,
टिकटॉक पे भी
looking at
लगा
90
दें
Globin's
कुछ
push, Joe, we had a bit
वीडियो
of back
हल्की
and
होती
forth during this game.
थोड़ी सी
किसकी?
ना करके
Fully
कट करके ना
against crashing Museum on the walls because they're so nadeable. And you know what? Influence Rage, they
किसकी?
just took what, 3-4 nades, squad wipe. Like, it's
वो
90
उसकी
Globin.
स्ट्रीम की
If you want
क्या
to
आप
crash
स्ट्रीमिंग कर रहे
Museum,
हैं
that was definitely not the way to do it.
I don't think we've
समझा
seen
नहीं
a
मैं।
museum wall crash work out so far here in the
यानी ये
PUBG.
थोड़ी
It's
बहुत
just
ना
one of
वीडियो
those
इनकी
positions
फाइट
that
की ना
all these teams just
आपस
know
में
all
कुछ
too
फाइट
well
हुई
how
है
to defend against. This
इसकी
one
ना
was a really
वो
crazy
रिकॉर्डिंग
start though
करके
on
ना
their
वो
end,
उस पे
right? We
लगा
saw
दें
some great fights lights ring out.
Okay.
One thing in particular, though, was this player right here, right? Loops versus Alliance. And you can tell the frustration because Redox down from below with that nade was just too clutch, Max.
Yeah, I mean, I would be disappointed too. I was like, we didn't even know he was there. Maybe they saw him, like, we thought he was a teammate. We thought he was on our squad, but no, it was Redox from the Falcons that are just... I keep saying this, the issue with Falcons is losing players early game. It just keeps happening, and you don't have a recall tower on a wrangle. Not yet. Maybe in the future, if they add it, maybe you could do these strats. But as of right now, it is not viable. As now, the crash onto Alva. I was a bit scared, Niptura. I thought they were going to do the mistake and give up maybe 1 or 2 players to Alva for free, but no. They peek it correctly. They get the high ground. Good play from Inner Circle.
Yeah, some really good stuff. There you go, little boy able to take out that really big danger player from Weibo and get that win in the end. It was a messy fight in the very end, but
skill निकाले आईसी ने
clutch it out in the meantime. We look over to our rotations and it was a weird circle, Max. There was a lot of really, I feel like it's a compact area of the zone, so a lot of these teams are going to struggle for that position. But we see a lot of rotations coming through here, and it's a Weibo on the north side, Inner Circle on the south side, Max. There's a lot going on.
I mean, I want us to all pay attention to Weibo in particular. So they play in Lumberyard Mountain, northeast of Milta Power. Here, I was thinking maybe they'd go Prison High Ground, but they knew there were so many teams that were going to wide rotate east of them. So they just, okay, let's go a little bit deep in the circle, wait for the fight to happen between Boars. There was also the side of, there's another squad over there. I forgot the name who it was, but there were 2 squads fighting to the eastern edge. And the fact of moving ahead of them allows them to easily not only just third party them, but also get a really good anchor point in the circle itself. So playing that Harry Potter Tower west of Prison was a very smart play from Weibo. Sure, they don't win the game, but that play alone easily secures them a top 3 podium finish in this match.
Yeah, it really does. And I also really liked the 2-2 split. I'm surprised they were able to hold on to that 2-2 split for so long, right? But it really helped them.
चलो तीसरे नंबर पे तो आया इसी
So GG's over that
way. चलो तीसरे नंबर पे आ गया हैवी यार और क्या चाहिए?
You can see right here Influence Rage picking up 20, Weibo getting 15.
They so desperately need it,
especially after having a rough Rondo match. We got 2 more Aaron Gales left today, Max, man. And yeah, I mean, it's so crazy because the hype from that Rondo was just ridiculous, right? Just so much aggression. I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more of that, especially in this next Aaron Gale, because teams are going to start falling behind already. I mean, this is only 2 days, right? You really can't afford a bad game.
Yeah, really. You can't afford to have too many bad matches. I mean, some teams just had a bad game after a really good Rondo. I'm looking at Burmese Ghouls in particular, right? They had a great Rondo. This 1-point game kind of going to be negated by that initial first that supermassive Blaze, right? Able to get himself such a banging first performance with double-digit limbs. This 0-point game hurts them a little bit, but you know what? They should still be towards the top of the rankings as the MVP of the game is Little Boy, also known as 7 Worlds Gaming's alt account. And he's going to be popping off it. Good game.
Creek का भी कोई नहीं आर्क भी बड़ा नीचे है इधर
Not laughing. What a legend. Did not like that. What a legend. Hey, listen, it's always good to see, Influence Rage pull out a chicken dinner. I think they've been the most consistent team so far, at least for the first 2 matches. I'm really looking forward, Niptura, to finally getting a good look at the overalls, right? Because I think that's where it's going to really just show how crazy this is. And you can see it. Yeah, Influence Rage on top. 33 points, Alter Ego in second with 23rd. And remember, it's just 2 teams moving forward. Everyone else is gone. And look, as we look at the second half of the leaderboards, Niptura, right? Look how far behind squads are already from that top 2 position.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to say something, though. I'm going to predict that it's really going to come down to that final game tomorrow because the points in the top 5 are so close. I mean, yes, Influence Rage are kind of running away a little bit with it, Max, but look at AE, 23, Burmese Ghouls, 21, Inner Circle, 21, Loops, 19. Like, it's very close right now. I do think we're going to see probably another group red situation where it's all coming down to that last match.
Hey, even if you're 90 Globin, you pull a DRX Miramar win, you're in top 2. I'm just, technically, it is possible, right? It is in reach of making it up into the top 2 of last chance stage. Looking at the top 4 players, though, of this game, Sook is up there, 33Z. Actually, I really want to highlight 33Z. I know we harp on about order typically. We talk a lot, especially about Sook. But man, 33Z, those sprays onto the eastern side next to Shelter Prison was so pinpoint accurate. So I'm loving to see 33Z really just shining in this lobby for the side of Weibo. And same for Noki, that hey, you know what? A little bit of a repeat from PMWC. He stepped up to the plate, redeemed literally the entirety of this game for Inner Circle. It's so good to see these solos just getting these big pop-off moments, right, Niptra, and just pretty much saving the day for their respective squads.
I mean, Naki really was the glue that held the team together when they pushed Flash, right? Because he was down like 2 HP. He was able to get, I think, pretty much a full reset, at least back up to a 3-man, right? Off of the back of that push with Team Flash. So he was able to really just clutch it up for his team. We've seen him do it before. He did it again, and I look forward to the next game where he's going to do it one more time.
Dan, by the way, 33Z, that drive towards the end, Max, man, I thought he had that double run over in the bag, but it was just the wheel from that buggy, the MVP, right? Just stiff arming him right there at the last second, and Inner Circle. But you know, a great first couple of matches going into match number 3. Okay, it's still too early, I think, to start calling like any kind of wild strategies. I think at this point you still kind of play your game. The thing is, though, like, let's just theorycraft here. If Influence Rage, let's say they win this next one, right? How bad do you think that's going to disrupt the rest of the lobby?
I don't think it's going to disrupt much. I think teams are still going to just play their own game until at least day 2. Day 1 is just kind of setting the pace and setting up the storylines for day 2. So I think that we're not going to see big changes today, I'm expecting, Niptura. What do you think?
I think that if there's a team in particular, maybe in the Miramars, that feels like they have a chance to maybe mess up some rotations or something like that, they may try to do it a little early, so we may see something happen in the Miramars, I think, earlier or later today, but I think earlier than that, no, we're not going to see much other than just teams playing their own game and just doing their own thing.
Yeah, I think you got to go for those chickens. I wanted to see him make that play there. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But
ये ना इसी की नहीं geek वाले
it's so crazy to think about, right? Because it's just this is it, guys. This is the last chance, right?
ये ऊपर geek लिखा हुआ है
are going home.
अच्छा वो दूसरी टीम का बोर्ड है
I think if you start seeing a squad run away with it, if you happen to realize like, oh, I'm fighting this team, I think you really got to go after them and try to take them out and stop them at all costs. I mean, we are noticing a different strategy, I think, for sure, especially from the last group Red. Motion is really high. We saw Inner Circle making some pushes that even Blank was kind of like, I don't know about that push.
पहला मैच राउंड होगा होता है फिर 4 मेरे ख्याल में 3 या 4 एंगल होते हैं फिर 2 मिरामार होते हैं
disrupting the lobby, I was talking more about like hot drops and stuff, but if you get a flush onto a play, you know it's from a team you want to target and get rid of in the top 2, then that could definitely have an impact on the lobby. So I would have to echo that could be a big issue moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to be something drastic, though, to really knock them off of their momentum. I want to just shout out as well very quickly is a lot of we were talking about how different it is, particularly from Group Red, right? The sort of the mentality coming in here, it's much more aggressive, much more risk taking, which I love to see. And I think Inner Circle have really stepped up to the plate. They're coming in with a bang. I think Team Flash in particular, I know I keep going on about them, but their first time to PMGC and they're playing like this, like coming into Last Chance, you would expect that, you know, there'd be a lot of pressure, you know, they're not feeling so good because they nearly missed out, or they did miss out by just a couple of points, and they're like, oh, there's only 2 spots left. No, in this game, they were sweeping the south side. They were moving in. They weren't getting tunnel vision. They were third-partying and then regrouping, and they seemed very, very mobile as a team. So I would love to see all the teams behave like Flash is, because they are doing so well with their mentality in this stage.
Yeah, it's so good to see a team like Team Flash again, like first time at PMGC, being able to actually get involved in these fights, in this conversation, trying to do something. They're desperate compared to teams. Logic's do a play passive, but Team Flash, they're not like any other team out there. They're a team that is desperate to be in the top 2, and maybe they're going to try and reach it in this third match of the day.
Let's see if they can. Here we go. A second match of Arigale. Let's get this started. Max and Blank, what do you think is going to happen in this match? Military circle?
Max's opinion, man.
Yeah, Max and Blank, John, you just don't matter here, man. I'm so sorry to say it. It's the darn truth. It's the darn truth. I apologize. Just the way things happen. We do have a horizontal playing path here. Very comfortable, actually, for most teams. overall, so far, the circles and the plane pass at least have been fairly forgiving most teams. I think Archie's is right though, in terms of in a circle. Yeah, the pushes are like they're questionable. Real questionable pushes, but I think if they want to push more points, then yeah, they have to do it.
I'm just about recovered. Right, let's get stuck in. Playing path on that north side. Genji on board with them right now. See if they can keep going. They were pretty aggressive. They were pretty mobile in that last match. Didn't get a huge number of points, but a decent result nonetheless. Heading on down towards Quarry, down towards Primorsk on that western side. No other hot drops really popping out to me right now. Potential for 9ZG, Papa Supermassive to potentially clash, but the circle up towards Stalber here.
Yeah, it's a long shift away from many of the places we've been heading over towards on the map so far. And up towards Stalber's very different change of pace for a lot of our squads. Around Yaz as well. So for the Flash, nice start for them.
Little boy in the vehicle, hops it on out. Influence Rage now our tournament toppers by 10 points. We caught up with them on the stage to see how they're feeling about it.
Welcome back to I'm joined by Influence Rage, being able to clutch up that win. Little boy, I want
चौथे नंबर पे आया इब्राहिम अभी है.
you made some tactical changes. Federal was able to sit out.
हाँ मैं वही कहूँ बीजी क्यों पीछे इतनी नीचे चली गई है.
What led to those changes?
वो मैच का भी खा रहे होंगे.
Então, no último dia do grupo vermelho, vocês
अभी
trocaram
दिखाई है उन्होंने
Federal
लिस्ट.
pelo Lohanzinho. E
चौथे
agora,
नंबर पे खड़ी.
no Last Chance, vocês viram com o Federal de novo. O que vocês mudaram,
ठीक है
assim?
छठे नंबर से चौथे नंबर तक आए आप आगे ऐसे करें और
असल में किल निकाल दिए ना पिछले मैच में. तो उसके पॉइंट्स लग गए.
momento ali não estava sendo bem aproveitoso pelo
उससे बच
Federal.
गए हैं.
Entrou
इससे चौथे नंबर
bem,
पर आ
entrou
गए हैं.
quente. E isso faz com que o Federal de fora vê
अरे बंदूकें
o
तो
que tá
इनको भी नहीं
acontecendo
मिलती
e
हैं
volte
हमारी
mais
तरह.
forte. E foi isso que aconteceu.
So yeah, we have a very
तो
strong team.
बंदूकें मैं देखता हूँ बाद में बस हेल्थ भी नहीं मिल रही होती.
Today we decided to make a little bit of a change, so Federal can try to like watch a little bit of our game and how we are playing and the mistakes that we are making. So right now we come back with him, so he have like a different vision of the game. He saw us play, so yeah, it's great.
Okay, a bit of a reset there for the players, and it worked out today so far. I mean, you got in the top 4 and now a win, and in this last match, 6 eliminations with only 27 damage. Let's see if Influence Rage can continue on for Brazil.
We'll see if they're able to join Alpha 7 over in those finals as well. Because right now, in first place, they would get one of those 2 spots, but there is still plenty more distance on the track left to run.
It's an interesting one. I think that's probably the best usage of fifth player I've seen in quite a while.
आईसी का एक बंदा आया हुआ है. इसका नाम क्या है इस बंदे का? एलिमिनेशन 6 किल निकाले इसने.
You're probably not finding as much success right now. Let's go Loris in.
एक नोकी है एक IC24 पता नहीं इसका नाम क्या है.
Got a new perspective on our game. It is very
नोकी
different
तो
to
इसका
playing
रियल
and then
नेम है.
watching. Like you have an outside perspective.
कुत्ती का एक बंदा पकौड़े लग गया उधर से.
Team mechanics as well. So it's good to have Federal come back in and basically like
उसका लग भी गया वो. एक बंदा मर भी गया.
wasn't so great. So yeah, getting a fresh set of eyes on it coming into the last chances. It's a great use for Sol.
PGR के बंदे के पीछे लगा है.
एलियन सबसे आगे पहुंचे हैं वो पिछले मैच चिकन की वजह से सिर्फ.
हाँ जी.
Good to see. On the east side, getting a little replay of Boars taking out one of Papa Supermassive in the meantime. This was earlier on. But this circle pushing teams up towards Yasnaya, towards Stalber. See that west side of Yas Fields being fought over a little bit by Red and Burmese Ghouls. In a circle though, they're not worried about this circle. They're just like, well, we're just gonna loot. We're just gonna loot for a little bit longer, guys. I think we need to. I think we need some more time down on Millie base. They'll have to get across at some point though, head up towards the north side loops, making their way across right now on our screen, just to the north of the river over Roshok, and we'll be passing through that west side of the circle, potentially coming into conflict with Weibo, depending on when they pull up, because this lake is kind of a big factor in this one. Those river crossings are going to be pretty tricky. So teams will have to figure out how to navigate this.
Yeah, not only that, the pizza slice off towards the western side, just south of Saverne. Very open ground, unenjoyable to play in. So a lot of our teams that are rotating on the north side of the map got to figure out where they want to play, on gas station or even the wizard tower before you make that crossing. But yeah, the circle's super undetermined of where he wants to go. We might get a Maxman circle, they might head up towards Stalber. That'd be cool. I would enjoy a Stalber finish. I don't think we've seen a Stalber finish in a long time. They're kind of even rarer than milli-based finishes, to be honest. But at the top of Stalber, so cool. So cool.
Until it goes right to the edge and there's like no safe ground, right? There's a lot of open flatness up there that it can finally finish on. But yeah, certainly in this tournament, it's rarer to see Stalber than to see Sosnovka. We've had, I think, much more than our fair share of military island circles this tournament, which has been great fun to watch, but our team's maybe not as happy about it.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's a tough area to finish multi-times. I've said it before. It's some of it is drop spot based, some of it is luck based. If you can get vehicles in time, if a team decides not to drop, there's so many variables on Sosnovka, which makes it hard. We have seen multiple teams effectively get strong points on Sosnovka multiple times, so it's not impossible to do. It's just you have to be good at the game. And I mean, Regnum Kaya was that one team that was able to do it multiple times, and even then, there was so many factors that went into their gameplay that made that possible. It's hard to count. Right now, though, most teams are just rotating in, trying to avoid those fields in general. So Yaz fields on that south side. So again, this is what I'm talking about, where it's hard to get towards the center. Realistically, the only team that has a good, strong central position is the Flash, with a lot of options to them towards this mid game.
Keep those options alive. Seems like nobody joined them in Yasnaya just yet, and probably not going to see that until maybe the next stage, depending on where we end up shifting. A split for Alliance. They are still on their rotate, I think, all things considered, from that south side. So they're slowly pushing north and losing a player. That will take the wind out your sails, and maybe won't see those pushes that you wanted to see from them again, Blank, this time around. They are playing as 3, which is probably going to make them a little bit more timid to go for those pushes that could come up big with 4 players. We'll have to wait for that. Genji and Boars on this east side going to be moving up past Lipovka together.
Oh my god! Okay, it actually might be a Stalber finish. Lovely.
Wait, what?
All right, so we might be heading over towards the ruins on the top side, which would be very fun. Super death matchy up there as well, in terms of the cover that's available. But we'll wait and see. I mean, it is dead central right now. We just need a couple more central positions.
I mean, it couldn't be more central than this. It looks like Alter Ego are up there first. Loops are trying to get the other corner of it. Nobody else quite quick enough. Maybe Weibo could poke their noses in. Falcons, who are very split right now. Narvalo is almost on top of Stalber, and Redox is just around, just north of Shelter, where we finished our last circle. That's a split of about 3 kilometers. They are very, very far away from each other, and that regroup will be in drips and drabs at best. The teams are clambering their way on up. We'll see just what they can find.
I mean, Alter Ego set up first, like you say. Kameshki is open.
फल्कन का बंदा इधर सूख के 2 बंदे इधर ऐसी जा रही है.
Wolves also are swinging round. So there is a lot of space on this eastern side to operate with. Suk taking shots over towards the left.
कुछ खाने के लिए लेकर आ.
This is a mad dash up the hill.
Okay. Loops का एक बंदा गया.
Suk could find a second over towards Loops. They're already on the rescue mission. Into the back of the buggy, you go Ratto Boy getting collected. It's home time.
नहीं पीछे Loops ने नहीं बन सकते नहीं. रोटेट करके जा रहा है उसके ऊपर और ये ओके बिठा के वो ले गया अपने बंदे को. हाँ ये बंदा गया.
Afford to let this one go, or Ratto Boy will fall. Not a health bar, pixel to be seen, and he's back into the fight.
बचा लिया उसको.
somehow managed to get him out of that, which is
भाई क्या
interesting.
बचाया है
Kind of like Wolves' approach to this. You
यार
play on the northern compounds, if
हेगी
it does keep heading north, then you have a huge advantage on this one. I think you're also realizing that you're coming in so late towards the circle that you have a lot of time to work with here to get towards that north side, but not a lot of space is available on the mountainside. So I think you just cut your losses. In a circle, though, still going for these pushes. Hard jukes.
यार
Not great.
Not quite as convincing as the last one there. Just rolling up, losing a player, thinking, oh no, we're not committing to that. It's a full 4 Weibo, to be fair. Not too many teams in position to third party as well. So it wasn't like a third party roll up that they looked for in that last match. They do just lose a player. It's a shift down towards the southeast, so those north side compounds blank. Wolves, even if they did set themselves up a little bit for success, they are going to have to readjust now. But it's actually pretty kind to most of our teams, I think it's safe to say. A lot of approach was made from this south border.
Yeah, and I think that's why you're seeing so many squads playing on this north side. It's because it's been more open. It might not be ideal for you, but it's more open. Now the circle moves down towards the southeast, suddenly you've got a bit of a problem on your hands, but you can ramp Kameshki anyway. There's a possibility here. There's also zip lines available if you wanted to get shot out.
That's always good fun, you know. A little bit of getting shot at in PUBG Mobile. What's not to love? Kamikaze is going to deliver that experience over towards Ramses, who doesn't go down, but might be pretty bothered by that. We'll have to wait and see. Alter Ego up on the higher ground, up on the observatory, having a grand old time. They'll have to defend their patch, though. They were able to do it in Rondo. And in second place, now's the time. Influence Rage currently in first, and they're all the way out to that north, waiting, biding their time.
Your Genji all sitting pretty down towards that east side. They've got Kameshki on log. They've got a player over towards the west as well. Quite like Flash's position. That compound's not too bad to play around with. But if you do have to head over towards that northwest, it's essentially the gamble circle, right? You're rolling dices on this one and hoping that you're not heading over towards the top side of the mountain. Because if you are, like, life gets very hard for quite a few of our teams.
Influence Rage hunting down GK. Federal first on the roll-up, looking to come in with a fresh pair of eyes, fresh fingers on the trigger, but not connecting on the first challenge. Looks for more. He's doing a lot against Ragnarok, who has to go for a weapon swap, and will find it. Knocked in response. Law now needs to hop into action. Kevin wants the flush, but he will be denied. Diego and Law charging forward, putting the pressure on towards the back lines of GK. There's a nade cooked, and it finds Diego. It finds Law. A double nade from Nerza to keep them alive, but there's a trade. Where are these shots coming from? It could be Inner Circle. It could be anyone. And Lowboy now on a desperate rescue mission. Will Inner Circle allow it to go through their way, or will Influence Rage be drawn short? One flush already through.
Yeah, Paparazzi massive, basically just siphoning a lot of points off the back of that one. And that's from the top of the hill. This top of Stalbus, so some really long shots coming through there from Paparazzi massive. They were in, apparently, Influence Rage were in their good graces. They didn't get shot at all.
Okay, well, I don't think they're going to be too long in their good graces. The shift south is going to mean they will be direct competitors on that northern border. Perhaps Supermassive taking a knock from Alter Ego. Actually, now they're down to 2 players and maybe looking at third party out. No, they're just going to move on in and see what they can find. This is great. I mean, Weibo immediately move. Look at that, straight up and central. Falcons as well with a pretty decent spot.
Yeah, the Falcons, they're in an okay position. They need a really big game here, though, and this is a good setup for it. But like I said, it has to be a ginormous game. They need to get like 20 points at least on this match to really catch up, I'd say. Because we're almost already 25% the way through the last chance. Like, it's going by quick. It's going by very, very fast.
It's a very, very short form tournament with 12 matches to play as well. That variability really come in to bite you. So opportunities like this, They're pure gold dust, and if the Falcons can't convert here, I mean, we talked pretty harshly about them. Certainly, I think I probably talked more harshly about them than you did, but we were criticizing them quite a lot during the games earlier. And if they can't do it here, then I think we'll be definitely vindicated. If they can, then maybe we'll have to reconsider our approach to them. But it is, again, just the one game out of 12. They do need more to prove it. Influence Rage with a
हाँ भाई इब्राहिम क्या सीन है
and they're just slamming those vehicles.
और INF की रिसाइट हुई थी और उसके दोबारा से उसका लग गया अपना एक बंदा नोक फिनिश हो गया
आईसी तो पूरी की पूरी गई
आईसी पूरी गई खत्म
ये कैसे हुआ खतरनाक हमला हुआ था
मार दी अभी भी पूरी फिनिश हुई है
Two players left. Influence Rage. They've got 6 elims. They're almost up to 40 points blank. So, I don't know, no matter what. Great start.
आईसी को ऊपर आना चाहिए था
And they will be able to repair themselves and give it a good go. Moving in from the north side, though, will be fraught with danger. Plenty of teams.
कोई नहीं अभी 4 मैच पड़े हैं 3 मैच पड़ेंगे पीछे भी
As well as Arcred, who will be giving them a tough time for the time being.
जेन ऊपर जा यार ऊपर जाके INF को खत्म कर
Convincing just yet, but this southeast side might change that.
इस बार INF को नहीं भी लेकर जाना चाहिए और आर को इनको पीछे रखना चाहिए पीछे की फिनिश होनी चाहिए INF आर की और खत्म होनी चाहिए INF 39 पे पहुंची हुई है
Wonder how many players are still left on Wolves' side. I can see quite a few roaming around. So there is that res possible too.
Yeah, there is all 4 of them right now, but you're right. Batten actually might be getting Doran back up here.
बंदा मरा
So they
हुआ
got
है
playing as 4. Nine's a Globen with 2 on the inside. You've got Arc Red as well. On this east, they love these third parties. Are they going to get stuck in here? Because you've also got the Burmese schools on the south edge. The fight continues to pop off. Doran's immediately re-knocked. And Arc Red do start to lay down the ordnance onto the inside. The Wolves struggling to get rid of the remnants here of 9ZG. And under duress, Coops moves towards the back.
नहीं INF भी निकल गई
They're playing this really slow, and Arcred is slowly extracting pints of blood.
Yeah, kind of hope that Wolves would have just popped a nade in that small room at this point, or a molly, anything really. I don't think that's the hardest position to clear out. Wolves are making it look very, very tough. I think they are out of util, which is the big issue. But to be honest with you, the rotation that Wolves made, I quite enjoyed it. The fact they were able to swing round Kameshki and then take this fight with 9ZG. Already the start of the fight went fairly well. Arcred dead to outside forces, finally. There's the nade. Perfect. But yeah, for Wolves, pretty successful, honestly.
Yeah, they maybe took a little bit longer about it than they could do, but they will find success in the end and move from there.
FL का एक बंदा और चला जाएगा FL तो मेरे ख्याल में सारी निकल जाएगी अभी जिस तरह घेरा पड़ा हुआ है ना
It's been dangerous and no one really happy with it. Ratto boy now with a challenge, a 1v1 to try and get a little bit deeper into
सही है FL
little point scoring opportunity maybe. Steps
तो बटाव हो गया FL के साथ
and we'll be able to transition now further back. You've got Alter Ego, you've got Godspeed from Burmese schools on that south side who will be taking shots. You've got to think that they know where Ratto boy is going to be.
How the mighty have fallen. That presumed massive bullying everyone on the high ground now suddenly as they descend downwards get dropped down to 1 in Kamikaze. He gets pilfered pretty quickly.
ऊपर से कोई ना जीते नीचे से कोई जीते आके
नीचे से कोई जीते
so that's a nice bonus for someone.
5 नंबर पे तो वैसे ही आ गए हैं
Bumped down to 2. They did not hold this central position with enough fortitude there. Ralph has to push back behind the corridor, behind the building, because there is a third-party angle chiming in. That's probably coming through from Weibo or the Wolves if they have an angle on that. But the nade from Snake finds it. Now it's all up to Koa. Alter Ego descending successfully. The nade around does land onto Krypton.
Oh, nice nade, yaar.
2v1 on the inside. Rosemary looking for the angle through the window, but has to run down as well. Charging through. Falcons will fall. They'll be able to pick Krypton back up. Yeah, smoke side, and that is again a blot on the Falcons' record.
यही को निकलना चाहिए यार, यही पहले ही एक जीत चुकी है, एक चिकन निकाल चुकी है।
Weibo have consistently been towards these end games, but still only in 7th place, right? Going down a little bit earlier than they might have liked. Alliance tend to move
यार हमारा तो स्प्रे ही इतना हिलता है, लेकिन इनका स्प्रे नहीं हिलता। स्मूथ स्प्रे मारते हैं लोग, मुझसे तो मोबाइल में भी नहीं चलता।
हाथ सेट करने की बात होती है, हाथ सेट होते तो बड़ा प्यारा स्प्रे होता है।
The circle goes up and keeps the roadside ridgeline in. The Boars maybe look at a transition. Wolves will compete for it as well if they head up north. And yeah, looks like the Wolves are going to be a little bit faster than the Boars on this approach. Suffering against the duo hold coming through from the Burmese Ghouls, who are in 3rd place right now. And maybe able to rack up a couple more if they can spot Wolves on the run out.
For the Wolves, that there is like this nice angle on the eastern edge where they can kind of play around and cut sightlines off from some of our teams on the western side. It just depends how they want to clear. I think if you're the Wolves, you'd love to get rid of the Bulls, but that is a tough team to get rid of.
हाल तो नहीं जीतती, हाल का कहाँ में बस कोने में खुद घुस के बैठ जाओ और एंड में मर जाओ।
बॉल को जीतना चाहिए, को फिनिश करना चाहिए, के बड़े पॉइंट्स।
चारों बंदे पड़े हैं, बोर के चारों बंदे पड़े हैं जी। बिनी भी अच्छा खेलते हैं।
It is really competing for that cliffside right now that you saw before the Boars and the Wolves both in the middle, but the Boars being in the circle already can just wait this one out, try and choke it to play that position. Alter Ego slowly making their way down the mountain very successfully. Has to be said with 8 elims. This is much stronger of a showing than
ताइवान, मेरे ख्याल में ताइवान चलती है वहाँ पे,
not that they needed to
इस
be
टाइप की
loud.
कोई चलती
They were a little bit quiet until the very late game.
PUBG यार, उधर की पता नहीं क्या कहते हैं PUBG को।
Doing all right. Weibo looking for
भला की गेम में और बंदे की।
the Burmese Ghouls. I mean, they love dodging these nades, and it feels like they don't actually know where Godspeed's playing.
देखा था, प्लेयर देखा था मैंने, वो सिर्फ 2 नाली चलाता है, 2 नाली चला दिया, वो 4 बंदे एक इकट्ठे मार रहा था।
वो भी खेले।
I didn't even know DBSs could be sad, but there you go. A sad tale for Sook.
आपको माउस स्क्रीन पर आ रहा है।
6th place wouldn't be enough, would it? Not going to be happy. Burmese Ghouls dodging the spray from Rosemary. I mean, these guys really are ethereal sometimes. They are
माउस आ रहा है।
starting to move up to that ridge line, but maybe a little bit too bold with it. Igor actually moving in, and Boars now kind of backed up to it.
40 देखी गई है स्कोर।
मुझे लगता है यही निकाल लेगी।
मुझे भी लग रहा है कि 4 बंदे जिंदा हैं।
चारों बंदे जिंदा और अभी तक 9 किल निकाल चुके हैं।
Again, it's these greedy angles towards the end game, and mostly from Rosemary.
I mean, he's gone down first in every single one of their matches so far. I mean, all 2 of their matches so far. Maybe making it a 3-peat. We'll have to wait and see. The circle does give Alter Ego some time. Alliance also some time to play around with.
अगर चैट में देखा जाए ना, तो चैट के अंदर आईसी सबसे ऊपर चल रही है। इनकी जो चैट है ना, जहाँ ये स्ट्रीम हो रही है,
हाँ जी,
इसके अंदर आईसी सबसे ऊपर चल रही है। 2 मिलियन पे खड़ी है पॉपुलैरिटी। आईसी के नाम पे गिफ्टिंग हो रही है दबा के। अरे यार मेरी स्ट्रीम पे आके मुझे भी कर दो गिफ्टिंग कुछ भला हो जाएगा गरीब होगा
Just looking for this initial blast.
That opener would be so huge, and this standoff on the east side has really stagnated things. Burmese Ghouls try and crawl in on the west. Now the Wolves, with the smokes fading on the ridgeline for the Boars, will have to go for this full face. Igor needs the protection of the vehicle. It's up in smoke, but will still stop the bullets. The Boars not peaking this. Sook will finally go down, and that is Burmese Ghouls to stay up and into a 5th place. But then challenge towards the top spots. This is great. Yatka actually spotting Alva before darting across is pretty huge stuff. Getting a lot of damage in, forcing Alva to go for that heal, allowing him to cross the open ground. Wolves find another boar as well. Now it's just down to 2. Exo will be looking to be put under pressure here. Dora knows the nades are going to either side of the tree, trying to force him out into the peak. Will tag on, and Dora
करनी
into the
करती
peak
है
to do it. Now with just cause left standing.
IC के
They will turn
पीछे
their
बहुत
attention that
आवाम
way.
पागल है
The flush comes on through, and that is the Boars. Done and dusted. 4 teams
ये
remain.
पॉपुलैरिटी बढ़ चुकी है
This is very different Wolves as well. I mean, this is when I feel like the Wolves do their best, which is
IC को 2 मिलियन पड़ी है और जो दूसरे नंबर पे ना उसको 69 79,000 पड़ी है
wild approaches to the game,
सही
unnecessary maneuvers, etc. I think that for the Wolves,
सिर्फ पे चाइना की टीम
just
तो
slowly
तुर्की
play out their match. They think about what they want to get done next. They are inevitable in that sense. It's when they start getting a little bit too careless, that's when they lose players. And I think that
यही के हाथ में है चिकन
on this off angle, he's so important to the team, but the amount of times he goes down on that off angle without finding any value is really bad. But that kind of sums up the team in general.
यही ना ऊंचाई वाली जगह पकड़ी थी
4 players alive for Wolves, 4 players alive for Alter Ego. Alter Ego on 11 eliminations already blank. They have been trucking from that high ground. They moved to the top of Stalba first. And they have been rolling down like an avalanche. Will anyone be able to withstand it? 2 players from Alliance have been surviving.
इनके कोई पता नहीं है कोई करिश्मा हो जाए
No elims right now. They got some decent
पता नहीं कोई
shots. They did
करिश्मा होगा
change the pace of a couple of these fights.
ऐसा ऑल वालों के पास सिर्फ एक नेड और एक मुली है और कुछ भी नहीं
But you're not aiming for the middle of the tables at this stage.
यही वालों के पास 8 नेड हैं 11 वो हैं
For Alliance,
14
I think that this is a team that's probably going to come third place in this match. Alter Ego, this is a huge opportunity to shoot out towards the top of the
अबे
tables.
भाई पीछे से दूसरी
Also
तरफ
an
से
opportunity for
जाना
Wolves to reset almost. But for Alter
ऐसे
Ego,
बॉल
it's
वाले
way, way
यार
more
बॉल वाले
important
को नहीं
losing a
मारना
knock
था
there. Onto Wolves getting
बॉल वाले
extended by Snape is such a
चढ़ाई कर
good
दी
team.
बॉल में
Coops goes down as well. The Wolves are starting to fail on their approach here. And Snape has the side swipe.
या यही वाला वो
Looks to pick up the pieces. He knows they've done damage. He just questions how
तो
much.
कौन से
Looking for
देख
the
रहे
next
हैं
as well. Healing not happening from Iftar. The hop out with the
गया उनके 2 बंदे वॉल के 2 बंदे नॉक पड़े हुए हैं
only have their
एक
one
बचा है
player.
बस अभी
Igor against all 4.
ले गए यही वाले
And he has so much to do.
ये
Denying
वाले
the
बड़े
point
आराम
here.
से ले
Again,
गए
I think it's totally reasonable in these short form stages. Alter
ये
Ego
आज का दूसरा चिकन निकाला है इन्होंने
chicken dinner though.
यही वाला
That is going to be tasty.
हाँ
And a
दूसरा
second
चिकन
chicken
इनका
dinner
ये
today.
Yeah, I mean, bit of indoor pride, honestly, overall, and it's good to see. I think for Alter Ego, it looks like a fantastic game. Slow and steady, and they just waited for Wolves to make that mistake, which they absolutely did. They just could not make that push up against Alliance. I think they had to play that game a little bit slower or go on the offensive over towards
IC
Alter Ego.
वाले
'Cause I
थोड़ा
don't
रुक
think
के
Alliance
खेले
would
ना
have
ये
taken
भी
too
कर
many shots
सकते
if
हैं
that was the case. For Alliance, though, 15
लेकिन ये तो इधर हम इधर बैठ के बोल रहे हैं ना
game, that is
वो तो वहाँ उनके जो सर
हाँ
पे
ये
खड़े हुए हैं उनको ज्यादा पता होगा कैसे करना अच्छा उनकी फटी हुई भी होगी कुछ करके दिखाना हम तो इधर बैठ के सिर्फ बातें कर रहे हैं
Questioner over towards their rondo. They were able to convert that, but here they really showed their true nature, and they are furious, ready for the fight.
Indonesia here in the last chance. It's Alter Ego. They were in second place before this match. And then they get the chicken dinner with a ton of eliminations. This squad is looking so good here in the final shot to make it to the grand finals here, Max.
You know what? We were robbed from a proper Stolber finish, but you know what? While Stolber
देख लिया ना कि नोटिफिकेशन चला गया कि 2 बंदे नॉक हो गए
there was Krypton on top of the
बस ही आऊंगा
roof. So many good angles to not only just get a few eliminations earlier, but also zone teams away and get some information. And you know what? That allowed them to claim control of that.
मुझे लग रहा है एक स्पॉट तो ये उसको मिल जाएगा यही को
Taking full control of the entirety of those finishing circles. What a game from Indonesia, massive point-wise also. 50 chicken dinner after already win on Rondo, Indonesia looking good.
You know what I love as well, Max, is how differently they played this win to the Rondo win, right? We were talking about it just before we came on. It's like the Rondo was very passive. They pushed teams away in the mid-game and then just sat and waited for teams to come to them. This time, they came and took the win. Off of Stolber, coming down that hillside, taking third parties left, right, and center. The timing was really good. They were proactive with the zone shifts. A really, really well-played game that I love to see the variety coming out of this team.
Oh man, this is
नहीं तीसरे नंबर पे जो जिसने 3 किल निकाले ना इसने ऑटो वाला नाम रखा हुआ है रोजमेरी
and this is just ridiculous, especially at this stage. I mean, they're going to look to almost break the 50-point mark here, Max.
औरत का नाम होता है
At a certain point, like teams, if you see Alter Ego, you're going to have to slow them down, I think, at this point, because you got no choice. If you want to make it the last chance, I mean, this is so crazy, especially for those teams at the bottom of the leaderboards.
The main enemy is Alter Ego currently. His rankings, the number one enemy to take down.
पता रात में मुझे निकाल के रख देता मुझे निकाल के 3 मिनट खा लेता और रात में
teams will be willing to fight you if they see you someplace around the map. Though actually, I want to have a moment of respect for the men themselves of Burmese Ghouls. They were just chilling on the southern edge, Niptura, and then you have 2 full squads of Wolves and Alter Ego just beelining for your spot. They didn't even have a fighting chance. So I'm Burmese Ghouls, all I can say, I'm sorry you had to go through that. That must not have been fun.
You know what? They really fought tooth and nail for that position, though. I think they came like, what, top 4 or 5 in the end? So another consistent performance from them in what was not an easy zone. It was not easy for anybody here. It's such a weird spot because it's all very open. There's lots of little sneaky dips everywhere. We don't play it very often. So some really, really difficult positions to play. And I think that a lot of these teams played very, very well.
Oh, I'm loving these replays. So many little headshots. Ding, dong, dang.
इसीलिए तो खेल निकले हम फिर
Doesn't happen to me that often. I never hit headshots. But direct fight and Blank did mention it during the game. There was a very strong ridge to the east, and Wolves were so willing to see these replays, so willing to wrestle that position away from Boars because they knew it was maybe not a game-winning position, but it was definitely a strong transition point to at least get access into the late game and have the fighting chance against Alter Ego. But unfortunately, Baton, Hoops both getting decimated by Alliance on that ridge line, and even the
खुश हो रहे हैं तो चिकन निकाल के
I do think that Wolves got a little bit too willing to get involved in this conversation as you go over these rotations. And actually, I'm going to take this one also, Niptro, because I actually wanted to talk about team rotation, which is Alter Ego, phase 2, right on Stolber, and they send this 2-2 split, which is really good to just control more position.
यार ये जो चौथी टीम है वो और ये झंडा इन्होंने फिलीपीन का लगाया हुआ है बंदे फिलीपीनी लग नहीं रहे फिलीपीनियों के चेहरे ही अलग होते हैं
That spot, if it's in circle and center as it was, literally a 10 out of 10 position. It is.
क्या सीन है इब्राहिम इनका?
Yeah, it's really, really nice. I'm watching Wolves as well, right? Looking at them all the way up to the north side, sweeping around to the south. So some really big rotations coming in from them. They were able to hold out that compound against, I think it was 9Z.
शक्ल से मुझे यूरोपियन टाइप लग रहे हैं.
Try and push Boars really, really quickly, like before zone shift. That's so important because when you're talking about making your decisions on that zone shift, it means that if you are proactive with it, you can actually interrupt the game plan of the other teams as well before they even make those decisions themselves. So we see there that kind of proactiveness gets them 11 points in this match, but AE just far and above everybody else here with 24.
यार पता नहीं कहाँ चला गया नफीस आई है यार.
Oh dear. Are we looking at a top 2? are we already set? Is one of the positions already set, Jukes? I don't know if it might be.
We're 3 games in. Whoa, let's calm down a little bit.
मैसेज से डिलीवर हो गया, देख नहीं रहा। ले पाकिस्तान 14वें नंबर पे आ गया।
Top 2 may not be set, right guys?
क्या बकवास।
The bottom of the leaderboards are
इस वाले मैच में 14वें नंबर पे आया।
because it's only top 2 that move on here, Max man, right? So like honestly, we talk about having to adapt, having to make adjustments to make it into the grand finals, as we see Krypton here with 5 eliminations. Like at this point, I think the bottom half of the leaderboards already need to start doing that, Max, because it's like if you don't do a chicken dinner here and now, it could be just over. It could be.
I said 3 bad games. If you're at the bottom of the rankings, guess what? You don't have really that much room for mistakes anymore unless you get a big game. Then you might be able to have another mistake, but at that point, you just want to try and get some consistent points on the board. So yeah, I think bottom of the rankings need to start to initiate that ascent right here, right now, in this next final wrangle game of day number 1 for last chance. As Krypton, congrats on being the MVP of the game. 5 eliminations, putting up some really good numbers here, Niptura, and that's going to propulse the entire squad up in first place over Influence Rage with 48 points. What a banger for Indonesia.
I'm just looking at the point difference. 48 at number 1, 3 at number 16. That is such a big hill to climb. Falcons with 8. Falcons
5 पे खड़ा हुआ पाकिस्तान अभी।
Oh my god, I'm crying at the minute. But there's a lot of point gaps coming on through here, Jukes. This final half of the day has really got to change some things in this leaderboard if they want a chance.
Well, we'll talk about it a little bit, guys. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
तेरा आधा घंटा लग जाएगा मुझे, मैं जरा बाहर आया।
Rahim.
yapıyorsun?
Anneciğim. İyiyim bebeğim. Sen ne yapıyorsun?
İyi, ben de çok iyiyim valla. Maçları izledin mi?
Oo, izlemeden olur mu? Kalp krizleri geçirdim ben burada. Bak ikiye çıktınız, ikinci oldunuz, geri üçe düştünüz, geri ikiye çıktınız. Ben kalp krizi geçiriyordum yani o sıra. Neyse mutluyum annem. Bu da diyorum ya, 3 gün formayla takıldım.
Valla.
3 gün formayla gezdim. İş yerinde yani. Görmüyor musun? Resim atıyor ya iş durmadan.
İş yerinde de formayla yani şey yaptın değil mi? Formayla gittin.
Evet, evet.
İyi, sen ne yapıyorsun? Ya,
İyiyim anneciğim. Özledim seni, sadece seni özledim.
ben de seni özledim valla.
Aradım, akşam bakmadım hayırlı olsun demek için.
Uyumuşum, bir de uyuyakalmışım.
Ben de dedim kutlamaya mı gittiler, ne yaptılar Muhammed?
Öyle işte.
Tamam anneciğim.
Tamam.
Seni seviyorum, öpüyorum.
Ben de seni seviyorum, öptüm hadi.
Hadi arkadaşlarına çok çok selam söyle. Yok
Aleykümselam.
annem, canın sağlığı. Bunları da tebrik ettiğimi söyle, ilet hepsine tek tek.
Tamam, aleykümselam. Onların da selamı var sana.
Tamam aleykümselam anneciğim, hadi görüşürüz.
Hadi görüşürüz, öptüm, bay bay.
Nine matches remain of last chance. We're starting to get a picture of what the leaderboard looks like, but nothing is guaranteed at PMGC. I'm here with Krypton from Alter Ego, putting up a great performance, but I want to go back to the group stage because your squad was able to put up 100 points in the first 2 days, and in the last day, a complete fell off. You were able only to get 5 points. What are you guys going to be looking to do here different in last chance to make sure you are continuing to be consistent and that drop-off doesn't happen?
Oke, kalau kita lihat dari grup stage itu di 2 hari pertama kalian berhasil mendapatkan 100 poin, tapi di hari ketiga kalian cuma mendapatkan 5 poin. Apakah yang bakal dilakukan oleh kalian supaya agar kalian bisa lebih konsisten di last chance ini?
Paling kita belajar, kita evaluasi bareng kan ya sebelum mulai last chance ini. Terus kita evaluasi apa kesalahan-kesalahan yang perlu diperbaiki.
मैम आवाज सही नहीं आ रही.
Yang udah fatal-fatalnya lah. Jadi kita perbaiki semua itulah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, during the last chance, I mean, we had a couple day off. So yeah, we doing our homework and then we try to fix our mistake. I mean, the biggest mistake that we did in the group stage, so that it doesn't happen in the last chance.
Okay, one of those mistakes that people were pointing out, especially all
नहीं इब्राहिम अपना नेट चेक करना है.
that sometimes you were being too overly aggressive. Today, so far, positioning has been great. Everything, timing has been great. Is that something that the team was working on?
Oke, kalau kita lihat kebanyakan analis di luar sana semua pada bilang mungkin salah satu mistake yang kalian lakuin itu adalah terlalu agresif, terlalu barbar. Apakah itu menjadi salah satu hal yang kalian sudah bebenah kemarin?
Ya, jadi terlalu agresif itu gameplay kita yang kemarin-kemarin lah, nggak bisa bedain timing harus agresif sama pasif. Jadi kita evaluasi ya harus seimbangin dua-duanya lah di antara pasif sama agresifnya. Jadi biar balance, kalau misalkan pasif doang ntar ngedok terus.
Okay, I mean, yes, they are right, especially about like overly aggressive. And I think that's what we've been discussing about for the last few days. And I think sometimes we need to be balanced. Sometimes we just need to be a bit passive. And then sometimes we need to be a little bit aggressive. So I think, yeah.
Well, it's working out great today, as I mentioned. Currently in first place, those 48 points are looking good. You have a healthy lead to the third place with 18 points after 3 matches. Now, it is Krypton. It is your first time here at PMGC. How are you dealing with the pressure of representing Indonesia with such an amazing org as well?
Oke, sebagai ini kan pertama kali buat PMGC, buat Krypton sendiri, gimana seorang Krypton itu menghandle situasi pressure menjadi satu-satunya perwakilan Indonesia di pentas global?
Cara handle pressure sih karena punya teman sama coaching staff juga sih yang bantu gimana cara handle pressure itulah. Gue teman kayak yang udah senior kan tiga semuanya. Terus saya juga baru junior di sini jadi belajar banyak lah sama mereka lah.
Yeah, I think the one that helped me handle the pressure basically is coming from the coaching staff and my teammate as well. They are senior. They has been here multiple times. I think they're doing a lot of they give me a lot of things or tips for me to handle the pressure. So thanks for them.
Hey, well, it's currently working out. I'm hoping to see that performance continuing on. And for all the analysts out there, Junior, Max, are you happy with what you're seeing out of Alter Ego today in the first day of Last Chance?
I think all fans of Alter Ego are feeling really good right now. You know what else is good? It's the Infinix GT30 series, the official gaming phone of PMGC 2025. Engineered for precision, performance, and victory, empowering every gamer to hashtag be the one and hashtag outplay the rest on the global stage here, man. Krypton's first ever PMGC, and this guy is just crushing it, Neptura.
He is, and he was MVP of the Rondo they won, MVP of this Erangel they won. So he's been MVP of his team in both their wins today and his first time in PMGC. I love the new blood that we're seeing here, the new storylines, these new players coming into PMGC and doing so well, Max.
It's so hard to do too, because keep in mind, they have Rosemary on the team. Like, come on, he is just a storied player from Indonesia. And the fact that we're seeing Krypton doing so well for himself is very impressive. But I like it, yeah. It's brought up during the interview, right? He was definitely being a little bit too aggressive from time to time. But here, just to ride him out, he adapts to the situation. Does he need to be a little bit more passive? You know what? Hell yeah. And they play more passive in that rondo. They get themselves the win. Do they have to be a little bit more aggro and looking for the angles going into that final game on a angle where they got the chicken dinner? Yes, and you know what? He does exactly that. Krypton, you know what? For his first time at PMGC, it doesn't feel that way in Nitro. It feels like that he's played PMGC every single season since Season 0. This guy is looking so comfortable in this global lobby.
And I think that's a really good word as well, Max. It's comfortable. He is feeling really comfortable. He doesn't feel out of place in this lobby. He's not looking pressured. He's not making silly mistakes. He's taking those off angles really, really well. And that's what we would expect from, like you said, a Rosemary or somebody else who's very, very experienced at this level. So really nice to see that from Krypton for sure.
It even feels like Rosemary's kind of the support setup player for Krypton sometimes. Not every time, but like this game, Rosemary had an angle, and he was just like, okay, Krypton, just push forward, man. And it works out perfectly because you have literally one of the best fraggers as your support off-angle player. I mean, Hodgix, you can't ask for anything better. Like, you know your back is safe.
Oh, man, absolutely, man. Who cares, right? Who's in the front, who's in the back, as long as you're winning games. And that's exactly what Alter Ego has done. 3 matches so far. They've won 2 out of 3. And you love to hear from Krypton, talking about the support, right, from the coaches, the back-end staff. And we got to see a little glimpse of them, you know. Great sportsmanship here. But at the end of the day, you know, it's 2 teams that move forward. Alter Ego have won 2 of them, Max. If Alter Ego win another one today, that could lock their position in. I think it does, to be honest.
I think it does.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it does as well. So, at this point, for all these other squads, if you want to get one of those 2 slots, or at least keep both of those slots open, you got to do everything you can to try and slow this team down. But it's looking pretty difficult to do, Neptura, because Alter Ego, they're on a roll.
They are on a roll, and I think what's going to be difficult for a lot of the teams more in the mid-pack of the lobby, of the leaderboards, is really that there's several teams who continue to put up big performances. They're just not quite getting the win. Inner Circle, for instance, we've seen big moves from them. We've also seen big stuff from Influence Rage, Burmese Ghouls, Loops. All of those teams in the top 5, they're stepping up in a way that maybe it's not really translating to the amount of points that they want, the amount of points that Alter Ego are able to put up, but they're still doing enough to kind of put a foot on the rest of the lobby and go, hold on, no, you stay down there, you're not coming up here. And I think for the rest of the lobby, that's going to be a second hill to climb. First it's them, and then it's Alter Ego.
Oh, definitely. But actually, I want to echo something you said, Hodgix, right? Which is very unforgiving because it's a two-day tournament. But it's a perfect setup if you have just one banger day like this, because literally 50% of your games are just good games. Which right now, Alter Ego, they're loving it. Though I do want to highlight one small thing before we go into the game. We're seeing so much use for the ASM Abacan. Like, we've actually seen a shift in the AR meta that used to be, like, purely M4s. ASM Abacan, mid-range with the rate of fire is so strong, and I'm so happy to see Hodgix that teams are finally adapting here and starting to put it in their loadouts.
Love to see teams mix things up here in the last chance. 3 more matches left to go. Last Erangel of day number 1. John Allen and Blake, it's up to you guys.
Bonjour, je suis Maxman, et j'aime le PUBG Mobile PMGC. We're going in for another game of Erangel, of course. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. I'm actually John, don't worry. I know you guys were fooled at home. It is is still actually John. I'm here with Blank. This play path, though, still loves Sosnovka, and we're still staying on the south side.
The horrendous playing path, actually, to start things off here. Down towards the south. Really rough for a lot of our squads.
भाई मैच स्टार्ट हो गया है.
Particularly horrible because instead of it going from west to east, it's going east to west. And Ferrypier, Primorsk, Quarry really want to be grouping up towards those areas. You get a couple of teams dropping down towards Sosnovka. Inner Circle, not really fussed about this one. Be able to get Millie Base nice and early on this as well. Geek over towards the eastern side. Yeah, it's tough. Definitely tough.
Vehicle hot drops potentially on the cards here. The west side looking pretty glutsome, but that east edge as well. On mill to power the boars. Dropping down. They got a couple of Papara Supermassive players right next to them, but there's some underneath them as well, and they are all going to have to touch down very, very close by. Blank. Oh, we've had more than our fair share, but it looks like we haven't had quite enough. Another dish, another serving coming on through of Military Island. Potential to finish, not guaranteed. Alter Ego, however, if you want to stop them early. That might be the way to do it. The boars have already extracted first blood.
My God, straight back down towards Sosnovka again. At least it's only one. It's only one. But now I am convinced there is someone pulling the strings. This is so many Sosnovkas. I think this is probably the most... In fact, I'm convinced this is the most Sosnovkas we've ever had at PMGC ever over the 5 years I've been covering this game. So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Arcred, Easy Bad Boy losing 2 actually to the Flash with knives and an S12K. Sometimes all you need. But yeah, it's all down to this playing path. It's just so brutal. Really, you're having to drop on such odd areas. Teams are going to hunt you down. Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough. And now heading back down towards Sosnovka as well. Overall, this has been a mess of a final Erangel. Alter Ego also lost 1 player earlier, like you were talking about, John, which is kind of a big deal for them, considering they'd love to have another strong finish over on Erangel. With 48 points, really far ahead of anyone else. They get a bit more of a buffer here. It does really assist them going into tomorrow if they can finish out their last at Miramar strong.
I'm just looking at some goings on the map right now. Obviously, with a military circle, this heavily featured, teams are going to start to think about how the moves are going to go. Inner Circle very, very quickly, Blank, moved out from military base. Sure, they can touch down early, but they've moved out to look to guard the bridge. Gen G actually just about got through before they established their roadblock. But the Falcons, we've seen them profit quite nicely off military circles by moving very early, but they're now going to ram straight into a roadblock set by Inner Circle. Can they get through Ralph? No, he's pulled out. And this is a very fast rotate coming through from Inner Circle to establish this. It's a miracle that Gen G got through, to be honest.
It is. And they do make it. For Falcons, though, they lose Ralph. Inner Circle, who are quick to the mark here. Sadly, they did leave Gen G to get across. There's this initial shot over towards Alter Ego. They were trying to leave. So I do respect it. And some pistol gameplay. John PUBG Mobile.
I think you're talking about me. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm John Wick. That makes more sense.
There are some other people more important than you, John, sometimes, but you are quite important to me.
Well, I don't know about that. I'd have to double check, you know. The only other notable John, really, the guy who wrote the Magna Carta, you know. Very important. 1216. Or 1215, rather, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, King John. The only King John we've ever had. Anyway, I'll stop banging on about royal history and human rights conventions because we are getting on and involved with Gen G, who managed to get through very, very quickly on that south side rotate, getting past the roadblock, and actually Inner Circle now think, you know what, we've already let a team through. We should probably try and consolidate in the middle. It's interesting that they choose to go directly back into military base and not take a position around it, though.
Yeah, well, I think I don't mind Inner Circle's position on this. I think a lot of teams play melee base and play it way too safe a lot of times. I'm glad that they flexed out a little bit, but they still had control over this area. It looks looks a little sad on the rankings for Inner Circles for how good of a team that they are at 23 points. But I'm hoping this game here on Erangel can push them a little bit further. I mean, they've had all the cards dealt to them. They had a really early drop. They had tons of times to loot. They also had opportunity to hold teams out and maintain position. T24 being this low is a little bit spooky. But yeah, I think genuine at this point, just loot. Get looted. Right, you've done enough already. You can start looking back over towards the Western Bridge in a little bit. Personally, I don't really rate Millie Base all that much on Sosnovka. I think it's a good starting point. I would rather teams like played over towards higher ground, over towards the western side, looking out towards the bridge. I just think Millie Base closes you off a lot. Yeah, sure, if the circle keeps centering up on Millie Base, you get yourself a win. But I think there's so many other things you can do in this circle to guarantee you a high placing, rather than just thinking to yourself, oh, we had Millie Base at the start, so maybe we just hold this position all game. Yeah, I don't think it's high value.
May not be. Maybe something they can address or readdress in the future. In the meantime, though, Inner Circle have moved to the hills to the north, leaving, felt like a little bit of a backstop there. Genji disengaged from that one. Teams are starting to move around the boards all the way on a very wide south rotate in the water. They'll be touching land fairly soon, you'd imagine. Papra Supermassive also across. Influence Rage currently on the west bridge blank. They are going to be close by to the Wolves. And of course, Influence Rage looking to chase down that first place spot back from Alter Ego. And for now, though, a lot of teams still left up on that northern side. So yet to make moves for probably, what is that, 6, 7 teams up there?
Yeah, it's quite a few. I mean, for Loops, Weibo, got Wolves also trying to make their way down. Kind of interested to see how Alter Ego handles this. Because GK are holding on the other side.
I mean, they love just Geeke specifically love posting up on the observatory hill, on that mountain that sits to the south of the bridge. And as you say, they are blocking this. And with Alter Ego on 3, that's much harder.
Yeah, I don't think Geeke is going to give this one up. But Alter Ego are making the cross. Albert getting through, but very low, and Ragnarok will pick him up.
Yeah, that's pretty clean. Not much you can do about that. Except, I guess, not get shot by it in the first place. Rosemary under pressure as well. Next circle just about to pop in as our teams begin to move south, to migrate in for the warmer season. Oh my goodness.
Okay. It happens.
This is great for Alter Ego.
It happens.
Well, it would be if they hadn't lost a player.
It happens, finally. I've been waiting for a circle like this all my life. Honestly, finally get to talk about it. I think I mention it almost every time we have a split on this. But yeah, the reason most teams are on the south side on a circle like this is there's very limited space in Sosnovka. So much more space on the north side. So actually getting out from this circle is not that bad. It's actually fairly easy to rotate here and get into a strong position over on the north side. Your difficulty comes in the fact that you won't have many vehicles. So you do get a big plus for Burmese Ghouls, Wolves, Loops, even... Where is Weibo?
That is a good point.
Weibo's like off in northwest. Yeah, they're not going to make it to the circle for ages, I've decided. But yeah, Weibo's fine as well because they have vehicles and they will do. So everyone on the south side kind of struggles. But Geeke, because they were the first to hold on the eastern side, they're the first to cross as well. And they know Alter Ego is a weakened team, so they can effectively get those URs across. So they're one of the lucky few over towards Sosnovka. But this does change everything.
Yeah, the pace at which you need to leave. I think it's worse for the teams on that northern coast, right? And we've been watching now this engagement for quite a little bit between Alliance and Inner Circle. They're probably the most trapped teams, right? A lot of other teams will have left their vehicles that they rotated with if they went over the water, to the sides, to the east, to the south, the west of the island. They can use those to get back, potentially, depending on their fuel capacity. But in general, yeah, you're going to be crunched in. We saw Alliance having to go for a mad dash. Inner Circle tried to light up the hovercraft that Alliance were rotating with. Did do a lot of damage, but Alliance now almost entirely across the way, and Inner Circle yet to make the move. Blank, look, I hate to bring it up, but it still technically could finish towards military.
You technically could. I think it's way more likely to shift back over towards that north side. And if we do end up with military, it'd probably be a bridge finish. Really digging deep into this. Weibo finally make their way onto our screen. Over on the northwest side. A little FAMAS in there. Seems to be pretty hidden to the Burmese ghouls at the moment. Looking forward to check it.
Yeah, not wanting to pick that one up. Or not just yet. Maybe they will. We'll get it into the inventories lickety-split, I'm sure. And on the north side, I mean, yeah, that position for Burmese ghouls, pretty solid. Weibo have made an appearance on the map. If you guys want to track at home where your favorite teams are at all times, there is a map feed available that you can watch separately. If you've got two screens or if you've got a second device, if you've got two Infinix phones, then of course, great news for you. Okay, we're definitely not going back to Millie. So let's take a look at what sits inside this one. Wolves with a huge cut of this western side, and all of these teams on the north can do a lot of work to establish ground early with not too much conflict.
Yeah, not that much at all, if I'm honest. I think for Weibo, them getting over towards this north side, this has been such a beneficial circle for Weibo. Currently in 7th place right now, so do need to get a little bit more on board. The flash takes out another player from Alter Ego and will be a full flush. So now only one player remains from Alter Ego here looking for those placement points. I'm looking more towards Influence Rage this game now then, who are down towards the southwest side. They're currently looking to cross back. They were one of the last to leave from Sosnovka, but I think they were so concerned with having vehicles on this end game. Goodness me, in a circle. They were so concerned with having vehicles that they waited for everyone else to leave first and then moved to the western side, which I like as a principle. You know that there's going to be quite a few teams already down on the north. This fight is going back and forth.
It's really not going well for anyone. I mean, this route out is very, very dangerous. It's gone back and forth, I think. For Geeky, they managed to get across, which is pretty great stuff. Obviously doing a lot of damage to Alter Ego to allow them to get across when they did. This may well be resable here for Inner Circle, and they do have a little bit of time to play with the zone still shrinking. Yeah, I think IQ's going to be able to get on for these reses, because there's no way that Geeky push further out to go for this. And they don't have anyone on the far side to try and look for it, so IQ and Falak both will be rezzed up here.
Yeah, I think for Inner Circle, for me, I would have rather than take a similar approach to Influence Rage and Gen G. With the circle being, with the blue already enveloping the majority of that western side, it's likely that anyone that heads there is looking just across. All right, they're not looking to hold anyone out. I think for Inner Circle, trying this eastern bridge as late as they did was a mistake. That also feels like a mistake from Redox. I think he got very panicked there. Should have probably just headed all the way back.
Yeah, lovely nade, actually. Over the top. Another one over the other side as well. 2 players from Geeky down. And they're back down to the back foot. As Ragnarok,
that's on target,
takes another nade from Falak. That is beautiful stuff coming on through. Just Kevin now remains. The blue zone survivable still at this point. Kevin, though, wants to maybe get 1, maybe get 2. They're confirming those flushes, and they're moving forwards. Falak and IQ now looking for the last player of GK. They found him. They hop out. But it's danger afoot. He's looking for the flushes as well. IQ looking to hop. No. Has to stay further back. Looking for the stairs now, and the challenge around the corner is good. Stays alive, keeps IQ in it. They can res out here. Oh, with the zone, actually. They might have to dart forwards a little bit.
I think they could probably put him in the vehicle. It's going to be treacherous. No, he's just down and out. Unfortunate. But yeah, I think for GK, when I saw the Inner Circle was going with the full reset, you know that GK is also going to get all 4 players back up again. It just felt almost hopeless. I do think that GK absolutely trolls, though. They absolutely troll. There was some horrendous defense on that side, and basically just setting yourself up for failure when it came to those nades. I think you could have held much further back.
Certainly would have been an option. Papa Supermassive ramming into the north side of the circle against Influence Rage, and both Alter Ego and now Influence Rage are on the ropes here. Potential openers for other teams to move on in. No resistance found there for Influence Rage. They will be our second team to go down fully. So for Burmese Ghouls, if they can convert on this game, brilliant news for them. From the eastern side, they don't have a terrible shot at it either.
Burmese Ghouls, it's a little bit harder of a run out over towards that western side. I can't believe Rosemary's still getting stuff done, by the way, but okay. It's a little bit of a tough run out for them because a lot of teams will be looking that way. But there is only 46 players currently in the lobby with 14 teams, so it's a lot of messed up squads.
Koa on the inside has Narvalo as well, but he's going to have to rely entirely on him, and Narvalo doesn't have anyone to play around at this point. He is surely not long for it, and the Boars able to truck him down once more on that southwest edge. The Boars pretty happy with their 3 elims so far in Alliance. Yet to really cross from the beachhead, but they are still in the zone.
That hovercraft is actually kind of nuts inside the warehouse there because it cuts off the one other approach. So you know the player can only go one way. So you don't have to set up a double angle. You can literally just refrag on one side. It's kind of smart. Actually kind of smart. I like it.
Pretty solid setup. Hopefully look at a hold out effectively. On that south side, they'll have to move in a little bit for the time being. They'll leave it up to the rest of the lobby. Team Flash maybe with an opportunity here to come up trumps as well on the east side of this circle. We haven't really seen too much firepower from them so far today. We've seen it from them before though, and they'll try and echo that here. They are still very much within striking distance of the top 3, so a big game here changes the story somewhat. Weibo on their 2-2 split as well. Want to rewrite their script up until now. Kasu's got the bow, and you'd love to see it.
We did sort of miss it, but Influence Rage all went out on the western side, so all 4 players down, which leaves second place no longer chasing, which is great news for Alter Ego. If they can get up towards, top 6, it is a tough task I'm asking of Rosemary there, but if they get to a top 6, 50 points, you're clear 10 points ahead. At that point, you'd be 20 points ahead of third place right now, who are chasing and are still in the lobby. But overall, this might just be a non-starter game for a lot of our top squads and gives more opportunity for some of our teams underneath to chase. That's better for Burmese Ghouls. All right, Ichi's already sending out towards the western side. And they've done great. I'm so proud of the Ghouls. They came into this one looking a little bit weak, but they certainly have gotten better and better, gone from strength to strength. So really, really well done.
Ooh. Did Boars know that Alliance were here?
But they do
they
now.
must have done. They definitely do now. Because I feel like sending out South down as a solo when you know there's 3 players there is just a bad play. So the only explanation I could think of is that they just had no idea Alliance were playing on this compound, and now they're going to be way more worried than they once were. Much more difficult to push out, especially now with the circle shifting all the way away from them. The Wolves will be that edge guard on them, leaving 2 up towards the circle. Yeah, they want this on the full surround, but the Boars have started to nade this out. I can only conclude that the Boars had no idea.
Well, they swam, right? They swam. So to get behind them, just a bit of a sneaky approach, but Snox will find Jimmy. Playing out towards the pontoons is pretty open. I mean, you can play very annoyingly from the pontoons, but eventually, as you have to move in, suddenly the sightlines become worse and worse. Exo does have the lineup, gets some good shots over towards Iftar, and more shots are pouring through now, and it is looking a little bit more dangerous for Alliance. You now go down to just 2.
The Boars are starting to falter as well. They're on 2 as well. Snox, though, spots Iftar charging into the warehouse. Denied entry, denied access. And we'll find the second as well. But they have to get a move on. The Wolves are ready to receive now. They are in position ahead of this curve. Papa Supermassive is still across the way as well, so can take shots out. Havlik diverting around Coops with the DP in tow, but actually out in the open, Havlik finds a rock, finds the cover, and Coops goes down, gets flushed as well. A really good opener for the Boars, and they're looking for more too.
Wasn't even really the Boars, it was Arkred off on the northwest. I think for the Wolves here, this is just a plain old mistake. where you get a little bit too giddy on the gatekeep, right? But I think that they didn't have to push as hard as they did. They could have just waited for boars, and that would have required patience. As we all know, wolves have none.
Just salivating at the prospect of more eliminations. Let's go! Okay, we're not having a good time. Oh no. Either way, Wolves have 2 players to play on with now. In the meantime, we did see Burmese Ghouls losing a player. They took a knock over towards Ichi, so they have to play on as 3. Loops pushing in from the south side, do spot one of the 2 Boars players remaining, Havlik, and Snowix will have his work cut out for him to go for the res, with Eagle that close by as well. And the Loops crash comes through. Alter Ego. They've been surviving for a while. They don't have any elims, but it's just Rosemary in here. Loops may or may not know this, but they're going to bide their time. They're going to play this one smart. Nade over to the back. Checking out the angles. The window falls short, or rather the nade falls short of the window. Team nade there. Not super happy with that, but Rosemary goes down either way, and they'll know an immediate elimination. There's only one player in there. Other than that, there was a knock, but there was nothing on the cards for them. And Loops find a second. 2 teams wiped out in the space of 20 seconds.
You know, I feel really bad for Rosemary there. I don't think that's his fault he goes down. It could have gone a lot better. The problem is that nade bounces off the window they intended to throw it in. And then the small splash damage revealed that he was on the lower building. So immediately the other player switches where their grenade is towards the lower window. A very unfortunate turn of events.
Soup already got a knock or a flush. I don't know which one with that explosive bow. I just caught it in the Elim feed. And he wants to find more here, Blank. He's still got it in the pocket. Taken a lot of damage from a nade, but now Remix stepping out of the wall. He is in to explosive bow range and the nade over the top. The spray down, though, is a little bit stronger. Hero, the trade, but that will be resable. 33Z already on the mission. Weibo looking to transition, to clamber up those tables as far as they can go. Polygot wants to find Sue. Nade in again. Bounces wrong, doesn't connect.
And gets his head taken off. So Weibo now starts to move up. Smokes are down. Smoke the US as Order starts the approach towards the circle. You got Arcred down towards their southwest side. See how they deal with that. Wolves are finally out as well. I think that they had an okay idea, but just failed to check the angles. It's a frustrating one, definitely, because I think when you look at Wolves, there is a clear understanding of what they want to achieve and what they want to pull off, but a lot of times it is just with a slight lack of planning in relation to the circle, which I'm not a huge fan of, especially at PMGC.
Does need a little bit more, maybe. A little bit more global mindset. To come into this one, Loops trying to jump up at the moment. To join their Brazilian brethren, Influence Rage, in towards the top of the tables. Crashing over towards Papa Supermassive. The approach seems to be going okay. The tint's not taken out of the vehicle. Just pumping lead from out the window. Boom, boom, boom, and they fall one after the other. It's Papa Supermassive getting torn to pieces. Loops with a not even super fast roll-up, but very, very effective. Team Flash might try and pounce, though, and that might be a little bit more than Loops can handle. Already one flushed. And another? Not long after it might seem. A nade over the top as well from Team Flash, and they charge straight on in. But 9 elims out for Loops. We'll see what Vitin can do. He's got one more chance to prove himself and finds win. Goes for the flush. We'll take one, but no more from Team Flash.
That's really bad news for Team Flash, actually. I think that the initial push from Team Flash was fantastic. Really, really quick third party from them, instantaneously realizing they could get some nades over the top, and then quickly with the setup. Win going down there, I don't think he had to push it like the way he did. He didn't have teammates backing him up. That also could equally be a teammate issue and not Win's fault, where the team wasn't with him fast enough. But the fact that they go down to 3 players in this kind of an ending, that is the sort of thing that can ruin your run for top 2.
Yeah, absolutely can. It's those little differences that really can add up, especially over 12 matches, Blank. It's those small percentages that exponentially grow in terms of your winning chances towards those later games. And Weibo with 4. if they can just get a little bit more control over the plateau. They have a massive presence, and losing another here to Glory, I don't think they can get this res onto Zeus. That nade over the top, I mean, that should find it. It's just going to make it so difficult. There's no way you can get this one back, surely. And Arcred taking Team Flash down to 2. That's even worse than 3, Blank. That's less. That's fewer players.
Glory on 4 elims. I mean, Glory has had a lot of glory during these matches. He is a brute of a player, really takes on a lot of these top squads. Insane off angles from him. Sook using the old watchtower to his advantage. Not going to be in the circle too much longer, so he's not fully committing to it, which is fair enough. But does take attack from Glory, at least gets an angle of where that comes from, though.
Little bit of info. I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. Now Hardboy trying to move forwards with the vehicle as well. Wending his way across. Actually going to join Glory. I mean, position's given away anyway. Might as well. Weibo. Still, though, feeling pretty in command of this one. But big nade counts for both Arcred and for Burmese Ghouls.
So Weibo looking to swing around the side, look over towards Burmese Ghouls, the spot where they're playing. Right now, Weibo does have a really good commanding presence of knowledge. Where teams are playing, where they're sat. So they know where Flash is, they know where Arcred is, they know where Burmese Ghouls are. Now it's time to take all that knowledge, put it together, and create a game plan. Because where I want to see Weibo succeed here, this is a big chance.
Massive opportunity. Absolutely. I think Sook still has his explosive bow as well. See if that comes in clutch. I mean, it's a fearsome presence in an open ending, right? You just keep peppering the battlefield with those explosions, little small nades. Just popping out, maybe more than anybody else in the lobby at this point. The Burmese Ghouls, I think they had 10 in the pocket. But they are really trapped out, crunched with Order Hero, Sook as well. Controlling their rotate down towards the south.
Send nades over towards the Flash, but it's a little bit early for that. But you're getting impatient now. You're absolutely getting impatient. Which is fair enough. And Burmese Ghouls look to send out. Glory goes down, but not before he finds at least 33Z. The Flash is going to look for this, actually.
Fair enough.
Bose is crazy.
He might just be making it work because Arcred have just fallen completely. They've taken up the position. Tops is starting to get across now as well, evading the nades coming through from the Burmese Ghouls. I thought the Burmese Ghouls might try and take a look to Weibo when they lost their player, but no. Instead, they try and flush out Team Flash, but that's not gone super well for them. 3 players now alive, the maximum of any team with 33Z getting confirmed. Weibo want to start to break out more, but everybody's on the edge except for Team Flash.
Yeah, I mean, for Team Flash getting in there, great news for them. And they have nades, apparently. One gets a little bit closer to Sook. Sook makes the correct play to move back, but immediately another nade. These are very on point coming through from the Flash. You can see exactly why this team just was pipped to the post to getting in towards the grand finals. By 1 point.
Weibo. They were tied with Team Flash as well. So it is really a battle for Group Red, but Burmese Ghouls looking to keep that representation going, to arise to another chicken dinner today, Blank, which would be pretty incredible to only have 2 chicken dinner winners so far on the day. Have Alter Ego, Burmese Ghoul divvying them up. We'll have to wait and see, because the center of the circle still very much not under control. I don't think, I mean, I haven't seen that explosive bow come back out for Sook. I don't think he's got it anymore, which is unfortunate, but looks like the nade cabinets are dry on all fronts now. Maybe 1 more for Team Flash, 1 more for Burmese Ghouls. If it lands onto Order, that could be huge. A Molotov to control the flank.
I mean, Burmese Burmese schools actually have such a great lineup. I mean, a lot of nades are being expended, and Weibo decides that now's the time to go. It's a good roll down onto one, and Hero really is being the hero that they needed. But now, in a 2v3, it's a little bit more difficult. Godspeed goes down, though. This is insane from Hero. And is it Burmese schools? It is Burmese schools to finish it out.
They just about clinch it back. Hero out in the open field, able to charge him down, and it will be two teams taking 4 chicken dinners between them. A massive game for Burmese schools. Weibo on a little bit of a redemption arc there, having a lot of points thrown onto their tally as well. The top 2 spots are deeply contested now. And we have got a few teams looking to try and challenge some Brazilian ascendancy during that match as well. Had a little bit of a chance for everyone to try and jump up to find themselves a chance moving forwards, because the games are running out, Blank. It is such a fast scenario. You cannot afford to waste any time, and things may get even crazier.
Yeah, we're getting close to the halfway day point now. For Burmese schools, that makes 4 chicken dinners total in PMGC. Very, very well done, and they're certainly rising to the top.